Chapter 804. What secrets are hidden in this sword Dao crystal? Yi Feng revealed a surprised expression when he saw the fine cracks in the sword Dao crystal. After all, he had only used less than a day to crack the secret that Bai Feng had studied for more than 2,000 years. This made him feel like he was a god. If Bai Feng were to find out about this, she would most likely go crazy. However, Yi Feng didn't rely on his own strength to peek at the sword Dao crystal secret. He relied on the heaven-defying God-Eater brain. Without the God-Eater brain, Yi Feng wouldn't have been able to crack the sword Dao crystal secret. The hidden restriction in the sword Dao crystal cracked. Yi Feng cleared all distracting thoughts and continued to control the God-Eater brain to imprint the sword Dao intent. He cracked the hidden restriction and peeked at the sword Dao crystal's true secret. Very quickly, 3 days passed. The God-Eater brain attacked at the highest frequency for 3 days and 3 nights. The hidden restriction in the sword Dao crystal finally cracked. Yi Feng sensed a mysterious soul power from the sword Dao crystal that made one's soul tremble. In the next moment, a mysterious sword soul light that surpassed the speed of light shot out from the deepest part of the sword Dao crystal. It attacked Yi Feng's soul and tore a crack in his soul. If the God-Eater brain hadn't resisted the destruction of this mysterious sword soul light, Yi Feng's soul would have been torn apart and his soul sea would have been pierced. What kind of power attacked me just now? Yi Feng used the God-Eater brain's power to quickly repair the crack in his soul. However, he still had lingering fears about that terrifying sword soul light. After the first attack, the sword principal crystal released a powerful soul recovery power, instantly tearing apart the seal and shattering the hard sword principal crystal. Then a finger-sized, lifelike blood sword appeared in the deepest part of the sword Dao crystal. This is a sword soul. Discovering the soul blood sword in the sword Dao crystal, the God-Eater brain immediately transmitted an important message to Yi Feng. It was the sword soul that was rarely seen in the heaven domain. Normally, sword cultivators mainly cultivated sword Dao intent. When a sword cultivator cultivated sword Dao intent to an extremely high level, they would be able to combine their sword Dao intents and cultivate an even more powerful sword Dao diagram. However, among the millions of sword cultivators, there were also many exceptions. They would walk on another path of sword cultivation, and what they mainly cultivated was not the sword Dao diagram, but the more profound and mysterious sword soul. In the heaven domain, out of hundreds of thousands of sword cultivators, it was very difficult to produce an expert who had cultivated a sword soul. In the lower realms, the experts who had cultivated a sword soul had long since disappeared. The reason was that the sword soul inheritance had disappeared long ago. Even if one had the sword soul inheritance, without 10,000 years of condensing, it was impossible to condense a sword soul. But now, Yi Feng had discovered a sword soul in the sword Dao crystal that Bai Feng had given him. This made him feel like he had been smashed into a daze. I must obtain this sword soul, Yi Feng said with incomparable determination. If he could refine this sword soul into his spiritual sea, not only would he possess a heaven-defying trump card, but his striking power would also increase by several times. Boom! The sword Dao crystal couldn't withstand the might of the sword soul that had suddenly awakened and completely exploded. The sword soul that was only the length of a finger and completely blood red in color appeared in front of Yi Feng, as if it had a life of its own. 100 killing array, forbidden space. After the sword soul escaped, Yi Feng immediately summoned 108 array flags and sealed the room to prevent the sword soul from escaping. In the next moment, Yi Feng summoned his 2 most powerful trump cards, the Chaos Divine Wood and the 9-Dragon Jade Annulus. He was prepared to use all of his strength to suppress the restless sword soul that was shaking space. Puff! Puff! Yi Feng spat out a powerful amount of blood essence into the Chaos Divine Wood and the 9-Dragon Jade Annulus, stimulating the power of these 2 supreme treasures to suppress the sword soul that seemed to have a life of its own. Being suppressed by the Chaos Divine Wood and the 9-Dragon Jade Annulus, the sword soul immediately intertwined with endless sword lights. It fiercely attacked, not giving these two supreme treasures a chance to suppress it. Although the sword soul was terrifying, it had been sealed for countless years, and there wasn't much strength left in it. But the nine-dragon jade annulus was a top-grade saint treasure, and the chaos divine wood was one of the most powerful divine woods in the universe. In addition to Yi Chunfeng spitting out blood essence and constantly injecting soul force into it, the sword soul's attacks were constantly shattered by the chaos divine wood and the nine-dragon jade annulus. As the sword soul's attacks were shattered again and again by the nine-dragon jade annulus and the chaos divine wood, it became even crazier. The blood-red sword blade was filled with a terrifying soul force that turned into tens of thousands of soul swords. It was like a tide of sword that swept towards the nine-dragon jade annulus and the chaos divine wood. If the room wasn't sealed by the 100-killing array, the intense attacks would have already caused the room to collapse. Nine-dragon jade annulus, break for me. After being swallowed by the endless tide of swords, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the nine-dragon jade annulus to condense a terrifying dragon. It tumbled through the tide of swords, forcibly tearing a large gap in the tide of swords. Then, the chaos divine would rapidly sway. Its lush, five-colored canopy released rays of five-color divine light that attacked the sword soul. Under the dual attack of the nine-dragon jade annulus and the chaos divine wood, the sword soul's attacks were constantly shattered, causing space cracks to appear in the room. Suppress. Just as the sword spirit's attacks were broken through again and again, Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate to overdraw his body and controlled the nine-dragon jade annulus to fiercely suppress the sword spirit. The terrifying dragon might cause the sword spirit to tremble violently, and cracks appeared on the surface of the sword. Then, the chaos divine wood's five-colored roots wrapped around the sword soul that was being suppressed by the nine-dragon jade annulus, increasing the strength of the suppression. Under the dual suppression of the nine-dragon jade annulus and the chaos divine wood, the sword soul's resistance became weaker and weaker until it finally calmed down. God-Eater Brain devour the sword soul. After successfully suppressing the sword soul, Yi Chunfeng summoned the God-Eater Brain from the Soul Sea and started to devour the sword soul that was being suppressed by the two cardinal treasures. The sword soul might be terrifying, but it couldn't withstand the God-Eater Brain's devouring. Under the God-Eater Brain's frenzied devouring, the sword soul's consciousness was gradually disintegrated and was finally devoured by the God-Eater Brain. Withdraw. Yi Chunfeng's mind moved and withdrew the three cardinal treasures into his body. With the help of the God-Eater Brain's power, he fused the sword Dao pattern into the sword soul and started to refine it. Directly refining the sword soul was the most direct and fastest way to condense the sword soul. Days passed. Just as Yi Chunfeng was completely immersed in the process of refining the sword soul, Bai Feng appeared outside his room again and woke him up from his cultivation. Chunfeng, the time is ripe. Let's set off for the Jasper Palace. All right. Yi Chunfeng exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. After a few days of cultivation, he had fused all the sword Dao pattern that he had comprehended into the sword soul. However, the difficulty of condensing the sword soul was beyond his imagination. With the help of the God-Eater Brain, he had only refined 1,000th of the sword soul. However, when condensing the sword soul, he had cultivated his sword Dao to the 7th heavenly level. His attack power had increased by another level. Let's go to the Jasper Palace. After meeting up with Kong Sung-chun, Zheng Biyue, and the others, the experts from the Jiang and Bai clans rode on the gigantic flying beasts and headed towards the Jasper Palace that was located at the peak of the Jasper Mountain. Mobile users, please browse to Read. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 805. The Jasper Palace was one of the 5 transcendent forces of the Xingluo continent. It had existed for hundreds of thousands of years. It was located in the northeast of the Xingluo continent, at the peak of the Jasper Celestial Mountain. The Jasper Celestial Mountain was shrouded in celestial mist all year round. There were waterfalls and springs in the mountain, and spiritual creatures were everywhere. Once one entered the Jasper Celestial Mountain, they would feel like they were in a celestial realm. It was so beautiful that one would forget about home. We have finally arrived at the Jasper Celestial Mountain. I hope nothing big happens to the Jasper Palace. Otherwise, I will be condemned by the Jasper Palace for eternity. Dressed in an emerald green silk dress, standing atop a flying heavenly beast, her clothes fluttering in the wind. She looked young, but her actual age was at least 8,000 years old. She was cold and beautiful, a peerless beauty of her generation. Tseng Biyue said worriedly. Biyue, do you still remember the person who suppressed you and forcefully imprinted a mark on your soul? How strong is he? Kong Sunction asked. If I'm not mistaken, that person is a level 6 Beast Emperor expert. Zhang Biyue tried hard to recall and said, a level 6 Beast Emperor. Everyone gasped. Bai Qing Tian said in shock, the True Demon Clan actually has such an expert. Kong Sung Chun, Bai Feng, and Zhang Biyue were strong enough to fight against a level 6 Beast Emperor expert. However, they had not broken through to the level 6 Beast Emperor realm. Therefore, Kong Sung-shin felt pressured when he heard that there was a level 6 Beast Emperor expert in the True Demon Clan. It's a blessing, not a curse. If it's a curse, we can't avoid it. Facing the threat of the True Demon Clan, we have no way out. Bai Feng sighed softly. That's right. Looking at the current situation, we can only take the initiative to attack and survive. Only then will we have a chance to survive. Blindly enduring will only hasten our demise. Kong Sung-shin nodded and said. As the three of them were talking, the flying heavenly beasts flew into the lush Jasper Celestial Mountain one after another. As they flew, Yi Chenfeng's powerful heavenly soul suddenly sensed something amiss, and he quickly shouted out, there is danger ahead. Everyone quickly stop your flying heavenly beasts. Chenfeng, what did you find in front? Although Kong Sung-shin and the other two were much stronger than Yi Chenfeng, their souls were not as strong as Yi Chenfeng, who had gone through a lot of tempering and possessed the God-Eater brain. If I'm not mistaken, there's a powerful offensive formation hidden in the mountain range in front of us. If we accidentally touch it, we'll immediately be attacked by it. Yi Chenfeng pointed at the nether dragon-like mountain range and slowly said, there's a killing array in front? Kong Sung-shin and the others followed the direction Yi Chenfeng pointed at and released their powerful souls to sense the surroundings. However, they couldn't find anything out of the ordinary and revealed a trace of surprise. My feeling can't be wrong. After saying that, Yi Chenfeng took out a low-grade heavenly artifact spear and threw it with all his might. When the spear pierced through the void and pierced into the nether dragon-like mountain range, a large number of hidden runes appeared and formed a terrifying force that attacked the heavenly artifact's spear crazily. In just 3 breaths, the heavenly artifact spear was shattered by the terrifying attack force. There's really a killing array. Looking at the shattered heavenly artifact spear, everyone couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. They had no doubt that if they accidentally touched the hidden array in the mountain range in front of them, it would cause a lot of casualties. Chenfeng, I realize that you're really a monster. Your soul is actually stronger than the 3 of us. Bai Feng looked at Yi Chenfeng's cold face and said with admiration, I had some fortuitous encounters in my early years, so my soul is slightly stronger than ordinary people. Yi Chan said softly, if I'm not mistaken, there are many hidden arrays in this Jasper Celestial Mountain that seal the space. In order to avoid unnecessary casualties, I suggest that everyone follow me on foot. All right. In the Green Jade Celestial Mountain where danger lurked everywhere, the group did not force themselves. They all leaped off their flying spirit beasts and followed Yi Chenfeng, who was walking at the very front. Like a wriggling spirit snake, they continued to advance between the gaps of the concealment formation. Under Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul, they didn't encounter any danger. They climbed quickly and soon approached the peak of the Jasper celestial mountain that was covered by thick clouds and mist. Wait! Just when everyone was ready to charge to the peak of the Jasper celestial mountain, kill the true demon clan's experts, and conquer the Jasper celestial palace, Yi Chunfeng stopped them again. This time, Yi Chunfeng wasn't the only one who felt the danger ahead. Even Kong Sungqin and the other two also felt the danger. Their faces revealed a trace of seriousness. What a brilliant method. What a terrifying formation. I feel that if a level 6 Beast Emperor were to barge into this formation by mistake, I'm afraid that even a level 6 Beast Emperor would be doomed. Yi Chunfeng used the power of the God-Eater brain to study the formation for a while. The expression on his face became even more serious. Chunfeng, do you think that we can break the array by force if we work together? Kong Sungchan's eyes shone brightly as he asked in a low voice. The array in front of us isn't simple. Before we find the array core, I'm afraid that we can't break it by force. I want to go inside and deduce the array core. Yi Chunfeng thought for a while and said, Chunfeng, let me accompany you into the array and protect you while you deduce the array core. Zhang Biyue, who had a certain level of knowledge in arrays, said, after knowing that Yi Chunfeng was the one who broke the soul imprint in her mind. Zhang Biyue wanted to repay Yi Chunfeng's favor. Don't worry, Senior. Although the array in front of us is powerful, it won't be easy to hurt me. However, before we enter the array, I would like to borrow some supreme grade array flags. I wonder if anyone has any? Yi Chunfeng asked. I have. Zhang Biyue, Bai Qingtian, and the others said. They took out their treasured supreme grade array flags and lent them to Yi Chunfeng. All right, I'm going. Yi Chunfeng kept more than 800 supreme grade array flags into his universe mirror. He then used the Bai family's divine ability, Golden Body Secrets, to increase his defense by 50%. He then flew towards the array hidden under the peak of Jasper Mountain. It's only been a few days, and Chunfeng has already cultivated the Golden Body Secrets to the perfection stage. Looking at Yi Chunfeng, whose body seemed to be cast from gold, Bai Feng and the other experts of the Bai family widened their eyes and stared at him in a daze as if they were looking at a monster. Rumble! The dazzling Yi Chunfeng flew into the Great Concealment Formation, causing a huge commotion. Tens of thousands of array patterns appeared in the void and condensed into dense attacks. They attacked Yi Chunfeng crazily and engulfed him in an endless storm of attacks. Relying on his body that was close to a mid-grade Dao artifact, Yi Chunfeng forcefully withstood the overwhelming attacks of the formation patterns. He controlled the God-Eater brain to quickly deduce the actual situation of this concealment formation and find the location of the formation core. Star King, do you think Chunfeng will be okay? Looking at Yi Chunfeng, who was engulfed by layers of attack patterns, the peerless Zhang Biyue asked in a low voice. Although I haven't known Chunfeng for a long time, he is definitely not a reckless person. If he dares to take the risk, he must have something to rely on. We just have to wait patiently. Thinking of Yi Chunfeng's various heaven-defying means, Kong Sungqin was not worried about his safety and waited patiently. After half an hour, Yi Chunfeng could not find the location of the array core amidst the chaotic attacks. His body that was comparable to a mid-grade Dao artifact was faintly unable to withstand the bombardment of the dense Dao patterns. 100-killing array. When Yi Chunfeng's physical body was at its limit, he summoned nearly 1,000 formation flags. They revolved around his body and formed the 100-killing formation, enveloping him. He used the formation to defend against the terrifying formation pattern attacks. Rumble! The two arrays bombarded together, setting off endless waves. The terrifying energy was like rolling waves, causing a huge change in the space. Mobile users, please browse TM. Mobile users, please read this website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 806. Great Array. In the midst of such a ferocious array formation, Chung Feng actually had the time to lay down an array within an array formation to defend against the array formation. His attainments in array formations are actually so deep. Seeing the sudden appearance of the 100-killing array that enveloped Yi Chunfeng's body and defended against the tens of thousands of array formation attacks, Bai Feng, Kong Sung-chun, and the others couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. They couldn't imagine just how Yi Chunfeng had been cultivating all these years. He was actually proficient in everything and had such high attainments in everything. The collision between two great arrays shook the heavens and earth. A terrifying strength shook the jasper immortal mountain, causing the earth to shake and the mountains to shake. As Yi Chunfeng was using the 100-killing array's protection to deduce the array core, 3 true Demon Clan masters appeared outside the Jasper Palace, staring at the violently shaking Great Array. Great Demon Envoy, Blood Demon Envoy. This intruder has an extremely high attainment in array formations. He actually thought of using an array within an array to break my triple cycle Heavenly Fiend array. Now that the Heavenly Fiend array's array base is clearly exhausted, if this continues, then my triple cycle Heavenly Fiend array will be broken by him sooner or later. An old man in a blood-red robe with a long white beard and a pair of gold-rimmed spectacles felt the changes in the triple cycle Heavenly Fiend array and revealed a dignified expression. Is there a way to increase the power of the triple cycle Heavenly Fiend array? The great demon envoy of the true demon clan had a tall and sturdy body with long dark green hair. His eyes flashed with an ominous light as he asked in a low voice, "There is." The blood-red-robed old man nodded and mercilessly said, "Sacrifice the Jasper Palace disciples and use their flesh and blood to increase the power of the triple cycle Heavenly Fiend array. As long as the triple cycle Heavenly Fiend array's power is raised to its peak, then I can control the array to refine them to death." That's simple. The great demon envoy revealed a cruel smile and said, "Great Master Blood, may I know how many people we need to sacrifice in order to raise the triple cycle Heavenly Fiend array's power to its peak?" "At least 300, the blood-red-robed old man said. 300 people is too little. Go and capture 400 Jasper Palace disciples." The great demon envoy coldly commanded. In just a short while, 400 disciples of the iridescent Jade Palace who were covered in wounds and howling in fear were brought over with their hands tied behind their backs. They were thrown onto the cold ground. "Don't leave a single one alive. Kill them all and throw their corpses into the tricycle Heavenly Killing Formation," ordered the blood-robed elder. "No, don't kill us." Hearing the blood-robed elder's order, the iridescent Jade Palace disciples fell into despair as they struggled with all their might. However, the elites of the true demon tribe showed no mercy. They kept chopping off their heads and harvesting their lives before throwing their corpses into the triple rotation Heavenly Demon Formation. For a moment, cries and cries of despair interweaved together and reverberated through the green jade immortal mountain, causing people to tremble in fear. As for the Triple Revolution's Heavenly Fiendish Formation, it had fused with the blood and chi of a large number of iridescent palace disciples. Its array might grew stronger and stronger as the offensive array patterns turned blood-red in color. They were like surging waves, crashing against the 100 kills array. "What's that sound?" Zhang Biyue and the others, who were waiting for Yi Chunfeng to break the formation, heard the cries of pain coming from the Jasper Palace. Their expressions changed slightly. "Bastards of the true demon tribe, I swear I'm not human if I don't kill all of you." Hearing the cries of pain and seeing the Triple Revolution's Heavenly Demon Formation turn blood-red, Zhang Yue immediately guessed that the people of the true demon tribe were most likely slaughtering her iridescent palace disciples. She completely fell into a frenzy as a thick, murderous aura erupted from her body like an erupting volcano. Her body flashed slightly as she charged into the Triple Revolution's Heavenly Demon Formation without any regard for her own safety. She wanted to help Yi Chunfeng break the formation by force and rush into the iridescent palace, to save people. However, the Triple Revolution's heavenly demon formation had fused with the blood and chi of 400 iridescent palace disciples. Its might had reached an extremely terrifying level. The blood and chi in the formation was thick and viscous, binding Zheng Bu's body and corroding her body, weakening her attacks. Just as Zheng Bu was holding the cold crow flag, shaking the space and tearing apart the viscous blood and chi, dozens of blood snake-like array patterns shot toward her. Cold Crow Sky Raid. Zheng Bu quickly shook the Cold Crow flag, forming a terrifying cold crow that crushed the dozens of array patterns. However, after the dozens of array patterns were destroyed, a large number of array patterns shot toward her. They were determined to kill Zheng Bu, who had barged into the Triple Revolution's heavenly demon formation. When Zheng Bu was in danger, Kong Sung-chun, Bai Feng, Bai Qing-tian, and Jiang Yixian also charged into the Triple Revolution's heavenly demon formation. They appeared beside Zheng Bu and attacked together with her, shattering the offensive array patterns that were attacking them. 5 seniors, don't waste your energy. Come on my side quickly. Yi Chunfeng, who was controlling the God-Eater brain to deduce the location of the array core, sensed that Zheng Bu, Kong Sung-chun, and the other 4 had charged into the Triple Revolution's heavenly demon formation. He immediately sent them a voice transmission and guided them into the area covered by the 100-kill formation. Chung Feng, my Bu Palace disciple, is in danger. Can you speed up the speed of breaking the formation? Zhang Bu, whose eyes were bloodshot and heart was bleeding, tried her best to restrain the anger in her heart and urged anxiously. Senior, the power of this evil formation has suddenly increased, making it more difficult to break it. However, give me another 30 minutes. I should be able to find the location of the array core and break this big formation. Yi Chunfeng, who was also under great pressure, took a deep breath and said, 30 minutes. Zheng Bu gritted her teeth and was burning with anxiety. Great demon envoy, more people have entered the formation. Judging from the strength of those 5 people, they should be Kong Sung-chun, Bai Feng, and Zheng Bu. The blood-robed elder, who was floating in the air with his legs crossed, suddenly opened his eyes and said, Wonderful, they've finally entered the array. The great demon envoy revealed a cruel smile. He said, Grandmaster Blood, continue to increase the power of the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation and refine them to death. If there isn't enough blood energy, then we can continue to kill them. The blood-robed elder nodded. He quickly formed a series of hand seals that fused into the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation, igniting the viscous blood energy within. The blood-red rune's power was raised to the limit as they attacked Yi Qinfeng's 100-killing array. Beneath the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's strongest attack, the 100-killing array's attack was abruptly stopped. The nearly 1,000 top-grade array flags that surrounded the 100-killing array began to crack apart. Feeling that the 100-killing array was about to be broken, Yi Chunfeng didn't panic. He eliminated all distracting thoughts and controlled the God-Eater brain to deduce the location of the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's core. The array core is there. Just as the 500 top-grade array flags were shattered and the 100-killing array was bombarded by the blood-red runes, the God-Eater brain finally deduced the location of the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's core. 5 seniors, I have found the array core. Let's break the array. Yi Chunfeng told the location of the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's core to Kong Sung-chun and the others. Good. Kong Sung-chun, Zheng Bu, and the others brought out their respective Dao treasures and prepared to launch a fatal blow. 100-killing array, 100-killing strike, Yi Chunfeng shouted. He manipulated the fragmented 100-killing array and formed 100 killing lights that attacked the 3 revolutions of heavenly evil formation's core. The moment the 100-killing array attacked, Yi Chunfeng and the others controlled their Dao treasures and bombarded the array core. Boom, boom, boom. A series of earth-shattering explosions rang out. The joint attack launched by everyone annihilated everything and destroyed the 3 revolutions of Heavenly Evil Formation's core in one fell swoop. With the array core broken, the 3 revolutions of Heavenly Evil Formation, which was integrated with the chi and blood of 400 disciples of the Jasper Palace, was destroyed at any time. The towering Jasper Palace, which was floating with a thick blood aura, appeared in front of everyone. When Zhang Biyue saw the disciples of the Jasper Palace who had lost their chi and blood and turned into dried corpses, her eyes suddenly turned blood red. She screamed uncontrollably and waved the cold crow flag to kill them. Mobile users, please browse to read. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the bookmark below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 807. Not good. The triple circle heavenly demon formation has been broken. The blood-robed elder widened his eyes in disbelief. The triple circle heavenly demon formation that he had spent several months to set up was broken so quickly. The great demon envoy and the blood demon envoy's expressions changed slightly. Although they were powerful and had reached the realm of level 5 combat beast emperors, facing Kong Sungchun, the mad demon, and Zhongbyu head-on still made them feel a little unconfident. You bunch of trash, go to hell. Seeing the mountain of corpses of the Jasper Palace disciples, Zhang Biyue's demonic nature was completely aroused. She was like a witch that had walked out from hell, her killing intent overflowing. Waving the cold black flag in her hand, she madly attacked the great demon envoy and the blood demon envoy. Boom, boom, boom. The battle between Zhang Biyue and the great demon envoy and the blood demon envoy caused huge shockwaves that even distorted the void. Facing Zhang Biyue's furious attacks, the great demon envoy and the blood demon envoy were both pushed back. They quickly took out their low-grade Dao artifacts to defend themselves. But at this moment, Kong Sungchin and Bai Feng appeared beside them and launched fierce attacks at them. In an instant, they fell into a desperate situation. Their blood and chi were violently tumbling under the destructive attacks. Great demon envoy, blood demon envoy, let's form the triple circle demon killing formation and block their attacks. The blood-robed elder was entangled by the king of massacre and was also in a dangerous situation. He relied on his movement skill to dodge the attacks of the ancient instant mirror and quickly appear beside the great demon envoy and the blood demon envoy who were retreating. He summoned a black formation plate and formed the terrifying triple circle demon killing formation with them. Triple circle killing formation. The great demon envoy and the other two continuously poured their soul power into the black formation plate. With the help of the formation plate, they intertwined 3 killing formations and attacked Kong Sungchen and the other two. Heavenly Ancient Sword Disc break. Bai Feng, whose body was shrouded in golden light, took a step forward. The Heavenly Ancient Sword Disc appeared on his body. Under his control, it quickly twisted like a sword dragon and attacked the triple circle killing formation. Sun Moon Star Palm. At the same time, Kong Sungchin also struck out with his palm. The palm that contained the power of the sun, the moon, and the stars directly broke through the triple killer light, breaking the attacks launched by the 3 of them. Die, all of you! Lotus diagram, Lotus of Destruction. Zhang Biyue continuously poured her soul force into the lotus flower diagram, controlling it to form 6 destructive lotuses that surrounded the great demon envoy's trio. Boom, boom, boom. The 6 lotuses of destruction exploded at the same time. The terrifying power of destruction instantly engulfed the 3 of them, destroying their bodies. Triple ultimate demon slaughter formation. Defend. At the center of the destruction, the great demon envoy and the other 2 immediately drew support from the mysteries of the 3 despair demon killing array to resist the destructive lotus flower attacks. Falling Star Hammer, break. Seizing the opportunity when the great demon envoy and the other 2 were unable to move, the white-robed Kong Sungchin stepped into the air and poured a large amount of soul power into the falling star hammer. He controlled the falling star hammer to grow bigger and bigger until it was like a towering mountain, smashing down with great momentum. Triple Ultimate Demon Slaughter Formation, Blood Demon appear. Facing Kong Sungchen's fatal attack, the Great Demon Envoy and the other two's expressions changed. They all ignited their blood and chi, pouring it into the Three Despair Demon Slaughter Formation. After swallowing a large amount of blood and chi released by the Three Despair Demon Slaughter Formation's might was displayed to the extreme. A blood demon with monstrous blood and chi was condensed in the center of the formation. It roared towards the sky, as if it was standing in a sea of blood, causing space to tremble. It blocked the falling star hammer that was falling down from the sky. Boom! The falling star hammer ruthlessly smashed into the blood demon's terrifying body, erupting with an astonishing destructive power. However, such a fatal blow was unable to destroy the blood demon's body. It was forced back by the blood demon's roar that shook the mountains and rivers. What a strong defense! Kong Sungchen raised his eyebrows. The blood demon's defense, formed by the Three Despair Demon Slaughter Formation, had greatly exceeded his expectations. The falling star hammer's fatal blow was unable to injure it. Relying on absolute strength to repel the falling star hammer, the blood demon once again let out a terrifying roar. It carried boundless killing intent as it attacked Kong Sungchen's trio, tangling with them. Just as Kong Sungchen's trio was fighting the blood demon together, several by family experts who had killed their way into the Jasper Palace suddenly let out painful howls. They were directly sent flying out of the Jasper Palace, falling onto the ground in a bloody mess. It was unknown whether they were dead or alive. Black and White Demon Envoy, Forest Butcher, Green Robe, Nine Netherwolf. Looking at the figures flying in the air and feeling their powerful strength, Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, and the others revealed a trace of a dignified expression. The number of top-notch experts in the Jasper Palace was beyond their imagination. Mad Demon, beware, I'll leave the three of them to you. I'll go help. Kong Sungchen's expression was solemn. Black and White Demon Envoy and Forest Butcher were both level 5 Beast Emperors. If they couldn't resist their attacks, it would bring destruction to the Jiang and Bai family. Senior, Forest Butcher, leave Green Robe to the four of us. You guys deal with the others. The situation was critical. Yi Chunfeng targeted the level 5 Beast Emperor, Forest Butcher, who was known as Huang Quan, and Green Robe, who was covered in poison and had comprehended the poison Dao well to the 7th layer. No, Forest Butcher is a level 5 Beast Emperor. It's too dangerous for the four of you to deal with two of them. Kong Sungchen said worriedly. Senior, don't worry. The four of us are enough to deal with two of them. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng summoned the sword puppet that he had never used before. On the way to the Jasper Palace, Yi Chunfeng had asked Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, and Zheng Biyue for 5 low-grade heaven crystals and 300,000 high-grade soul crystals. After fusing with enough energy, the sword puppet's strength was restored to a level 5 Beast Emperor. The sword puppet was also Yi Chunfeng's biggest reliance to deal with Forest Butcher. What a strong aura! Chunfeng actually has such a terrifying doppelganger. Feeling that the sword puppet's aura was not weaker than his, Kong Sungchen was relieved. He controlled the falling star hammer to attack the black and white demon envoy that posed the greatest threat. Blood River, you and the sword puppet deal with Forest Butcher. Ling Yu, third Uncle Fu, let's kill Green Robe quickly. Yi Chunfeng transmitted his voice. After saying that, the sword puppet held 2 low-grade Dao weapons, and the King of Massacre attacked Forest Butcher, who was holding the Star Shield. Yi Chunfeng and the other 2 besieged Green Robe, who was retreating quickly. Green Robe, where are you going? When Yi Chunfeng saw that Green Robe was trying to escape, he immediately used the sword steps to stop him. He took a step forward, and 70 sword Dao patterns flew out like a rain of swords, sealing off Green Robe's escape route. Then, Ling Yu and Fu Qingshan attacked Green Robe together. They wanted to injure him severely and end the battle quickly. Poison Dao intent, poison gas filling the sky. Ling Yu and Fu Qingshan closed in. Green Robe unleashed his poison Dao intent to the extreme. A large amount of poison gas spread out from his body, forming a poison tide that filled the sky. Death flame sky fire refine. When the poison tide filled the sky, Yi Chenfeng summoned the death flame sky fire and refined the poison gas crazily. He protected Ling Yu and Fu Qingshan's bodies, not giving the poison gas a chance to invade their bodies. Then the five elemental Dao intent, life and death Dao intent, and heaven and earth Dao intent gushed out from Yi Chenfeng's body. With unparalleled destructive power, they bombarded Green Robe's body, causing his blood and qi to tumble. He was forced to retreat. Damn it! It has only been a few days, and he has become stronger again. After being forced back by Yi Chenfeng's three fused Dao intents, Green Robe, who had suffered a great loss, was even more terrified. He did not dare to fight with the three of them and wanted to escape with his speed. Green Robe, I didn't kill you last time. Today, you will die without a doubt. Yi Chenfeng did not give Green Robe a chance to escape. The vermilion bird cauldron flew out of his body and suppressed the void. It released an overwhelming suppressive force that limited Green Robe's speed. When Green Robe relied on his powerful strength to forcefully tear apart the suppressive force released by the vermilion bird cauldron, Ling Yu stepped on the 8 divine ape shadows and attacked him with a god-perplexing fist that was filled with destructive power. The punch broke through his defense, caved in his chest, and sent him flying. Mobile users, please browse to M. Read. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 808. The battle became more and more intense. Since the level 5 Beast Emperor Forest Butcher was restrained by the Sword Spirit Puppet and the King of Massacre, its poisonous gas filled the sky. The extremely powerful Green Robe was heavily injured by Yi Chenfeng and the other two. This greatly reduced the pressure on the Jiang and Bai families. Under the leadership of Kong Sungchun, Jiang Yixian, and Bai Qingtian, the experts of the Jiang and Bai families gradually gained control of the situation, suppressing the attacks of the True Demon Clan and Sun Luo Hall experts. However, Jiang Yixian and the others knew that the real battle was between Bai Feng, Zheng Biyue, and the Great Demon Envoy. Once Bai Feng and Zheng Biyue were defeated, the Great Demon Envoy and the other two could form the Three Despair demon-killing formation and reverse the situation. Mad Demon. Bai Feng also knew the heavy responsibility on his shoulders. His attacks were suppressed by the terrifying Blood Demon, so he quickly ignited his blood chi and transformed into his beast soul form, entering his strongest Mad Demon state. Ice Spirit Physique. Bai Feng began to fight with all her might, and Zheng Biyue also used her final trump card. She activated her powerful physique, and the power of extreme Yin and extreme Frost radiated from her beautiful body. Ice Spirit Physique, Senior Zheng and you actually have the same physique. Looking at the cold energy spreading out like a fairy, Yi Chenfeng immediately recognized that Zheng Biyue had the same physique as Fu Yue. However, Fu Yue had just developed the Ice Spirit Physique, while Zheng Biyue had almost completely unearthed the potential of the Ice Spirit Physique. Roar, roar, roar. When Bai Feng and Zheng Biyue both transformed, the Great Demon Envoy and the Blood Demon Envoy poured their blood chi into the Three Despair demon-killing formation at all costs, increasing the power of the Blood Demon. They mobilized endless blood chi to attack Bai Feng and Zheng Biyue, wanting to borrow the power of the formation to kill the two. Bai Feng and Zheng Biyue were fighting fiercely against the Blood Demon. Kong Sungchun, who was fighting against the black and white demon envoys by himself, was also in a tough battle. Although Kong Sungchun's strength was far superior to any of the black and white demon envoys, the two of them had a tacit understanding of each other. Furthermore, they had mastered the body fusion technique. They had fought hundreds of rounds with Kong Sungchun without falling into a disadvantageous position. We need to find a breakthrough point. Otherwise, if this drags on, I'm afraid it will be disadvantageous to us. Kong Sung-chun, who was controlling the falling star hammer, looked at Yi Chen-feng. At this moment, he had no choice but to place his hopes on Yi Chen-feng. As long as Yi Chen-feng and the other two could quickly kill off the extremely powerful green robes and help him, he would be able to reverse the situation. By relying on his absolute offensive power, he would be able to heavily wound the black and white demon envoys and control the overall situation. Just as Kong Sung-chun was placing his hopes on Yi Chen-feng, Forest Butcher, who had a terrifying defense, let out a painful howl. His strong body fell from the sky, smashing a large hole in the ground. Forest Butcher is injured. Kong Sung-chun's eyes widened. He couldn't believe that Forest Butcher, who had the same strength as him and possessed the astral shield, had been injured. I want your lives. Forest Butcher, whose head was bleeding, crawled out of the hole. He poured his powerful soul power into the astral shield and threw it out with all his strength. It tore through space and bombarded the sword puppet. Facing the attack of the astral shield, the sword puppet didn't dodge. Instead, it used its indestructible body to block the fatal blow of the astral shield. What? Seeing the sword puppet block the fatal blow of the astral shield with its body, Forest Butcher was so shocked that his eyeballs almost fell out. The King of Massacre seized the opportunity when Forest Butcher lost his astral shield and controlled the ancient mirror of Xana to fiercely attack. Beams of ancient mirror of Xana pierced through the void and attacked Forest Butcher's strong body. Yama tactics. Facing the ancient mirror of Xana, Forest Butcher came back to his senses. He ignored the injuries on his body and operated the Yama tactics to the extreme. He held the Devil Bone Hammer and attacked with all his strength. He wanted to shatter the ancient mirror of Xana that had strong, penetrating power. However, the ancient mirror of Xana was a Gu Dao treasure. Its attacking power was even above that of a Dao treasure. Under the dense attack of the ancient mirror of Xana, Forest Butcher's attack was completely suppressed. His body was constantly pierced through. His arms that were holding the Devil Bone Hammer were severely numb. He almost couldn't hold the Devil Bone Hammer. Astral Shield, come back. Being suppressed by the ancient mirror of Massacre, Forest Butcher, who was in danger, was about to summon the Astral Shield back to block the penetrating attack of the ancient mirror of Xana. However, the sword puppet reacted faster. It kept using its body to block the Astral Shield, not giving Forest Butcher a chance to summon it back. Heavenly Demon Blood Arts. Unable to summon the Astral Shield back, Forest Butcher, who was covered in blood, performed the Heavenly Demon Blood Arts. It ignited all the blood in his body and overdrew his potential, greatly increasing his strength. With the increase in his strength, Forest Butcher ignored the injuries on his body and quickly waved the Devil Bone Hammer. He smashed the ancient mirror of Xana and quickly approached the King of Massacre, wanting to kill him. Heavenly Demon Rope. Forest Butcher, who was like a killing god from hell, approached. The King of Massacre immediately formed 3 heavenly demon ropes and bound his body. Following that, the King of Massacre performed a supreme Dao skill, Heavenly Demon Dance, in all directions. The 8 great demon blades merged together and forced Forest Butcher, who was approaching him, back. A deep sword wound split open his chest, and a large amount of blood seeped out. Golden Lion, help me quickly. The situation was dire. When everyone was attacking with all their might, Green Robe, whose life was hanging by a thread, immediately shouted to the golden-haired, burly, middle-aged man who was as strong as a lion. Seeing that Green Robe was in danger, Golden Lion, who was a level 4 combat beast emperor, gritted his teeth and forced 3 Jiang family level 3 combat beast emperors to retreat. He quickly turned back, wanted to save Green Robe. It's useless. No one can save you today. Yi Chen-feng roared, and 70 sword-based Dao patterns shot out from the Emperor's Sky Sword. It was like an extreme shooting star as it pierced towards Green Robe's chest. Black Cauldron. Feeling the terror of Yi Chen-feng's sword, Green Robe immediately spat out a black cauldron that was as black as ink. He used all his strength to block this fatal attack. Large amounts of blinding flames shot out from the surface of the black cauldron. The killing sword light, which was filled with 70 sword-based Tao patterns, pierced through the black cauldron. It did not reduce its speed as it pierced towards Black Robe, whose expression changed drastically. This forced him to dodge quickly. Screech! A sharp bird cry was heard. Fu Qingshan had activated the bloodline of the Green Emperor Rock and turned into a ferocious rock shadow. He ruthlessly crashed into Black Robe's body and interrupted his dodging. Extreme Tao of Xianming. Illusory dragon water shadow. Without waiting for the Golden Lion King to get close to him, the will of Tao that Yi Chanfeng had comprehended completely erupted. His left hand struck out with the force of extreme mystic, while his right hand struck out with a dragon-like illusory water shadow. The two Taoist techniques merged together, and the heavens and the earth changed drastically. The terrifying will of Tao bombarded Green Robe's body fiercely, breaking through his physical defenses and shattering his physical body. When Green Robe was sent flying by Yi Chunfeng's Tao technique, the spiritual fish stepped on the 8 divine ape shadows and appeared behind him. It exploded with the power of a landslide and ruthlessly crashed on a Green Robe's back. It shattered his spine and sent him flying towards Yi Chunfeng. It's over. Let me send you to hell. Seeing that Green Robe had lost control of his body and was flying towards him while spitting out blood, Yi Chunfeng's body flashed and instantly merged with the Emperor's Sky Sword. He activated all the offensive array patterns in the Emperor's Sky Sword and slashed towards Green Robe. TSK. An extremely fast sword light flashed in front of Green Robe's eyes. Yi Chunfeng became one with his weapon. The sword light that came down directly split Green Robe's body into 2 halves. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng appeared beside Green Robe's head, which was bleeding profusely. He circulated the soul-devouring art and devoured Green Robe's spiritual beast. He then crushed Green Robe's head and killed him. Mobile users, please browse to M. Reading. Mobile reading site. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 809. Clatter. Witnessing Yi Chunfeng and the other 2 kill Green Robe, Golden Lion's expression changed drastically. He quickly turned around and tried to escape. Do you think you can run away? Yi Chunfeng said with a murderous intent. He stepped on the sword and tore through the void. He blocked Golden Lion's path at a speed several times faster than the speed of light. Then, 10 runes of heaven, Tao, flew out of his body and turned into the roaring might of heaven. They twisted the void and bombarded Golden Lion. Golden Lion Tao Seal. Faced with Yi Chunfeng's merciless attack of the heavenly way, the Golden Lion King, who had nowhere to run, quickly formed a seal. 2 wills of the great path gushed out of his body, turning into a mighty and extraordinary lion-head seal, which fiercely bombarded the might of the heavenly way. The 2 Tao intents bombarded together and set off endless waves. The terrifying destructive power crazily impacted their bodies. Golden Body Release. Enduring the destructive impact that could topple mountains and overturn seas, Yi Chunfeng immediately used the Golden Body Burst. A large amount of golden light was emitted from his body. His entire body seemed to have been cast in gold, and his defense was increased by 50%. He relied on his strong physical body to withstand the destructive impact. Then, 70 sword Tao patterns gushed out of his body and cut through the rolling destructive storm. They attacked Golden Lion, who was retreating. Demonic Lion Technique. Having experienced the terror of Yi Chunfeng, the Golden Lion King used his last resort. A lifelike black demonic lion emerged from his body. With a roar that shook the mountains and rivers, he pounced towards Yi Chunfeng. Suddenly, an extremely fast light tore through the destructive storm and blocked in front of Yi Chunfeng. Burning the bloodline of the divine ape, Ling Yu's eyes were filled with a strong fighting spirit as he punched out. His fist, which contained more than 40 million gene of strength, smashed into the demonic lion, resisting the demonic lion skill displayed by the golden lion. Then, Fu Qingshan appeared behind Golden Lion. The long spear in his hand spun rapidly like a dragon and stabbed at Golden Lion's back. Caught off guard, Golden Lion's back was pierced by the sharp spear tip. The high-speed rotating spear tip continued to destroy his body's defense and mince his flesh, causing his whole face to distort in pain. Just as Golden Lion relied on his absolute strength to repel Fu Qingshan with his supreme-grade celestial saber, a giant hand that was infused with the will of the 5 elements, life and death, and the will of heaven and earth descended from the sky with unparalleled destructive power. It ruthlessly imprinted itself on Golden Lion's body and directly pressed him to the ground from midair. His strong body was badly mutilated, and large amounts of blood gushed out uncontrollably from his body. Vermilion Bird Cauldron kill. Heavily injured, the Golden Lion King did not hesitate to use the blood escape technique to escape. But this time, the Vermilion Bird Cauldron fell from the sky and ruthlessly suppressed his severely injured body, forcibly suppressing him. Save me. Suppressed by the Suzaku Cauldron, the desperate Golden Lion let out a cry for help, praying that someone could save him at the critical moment. Don't shout. You would die today. Yi Qianfeng left an afterimage in midair and appeared beside him. He pressed his right hand on the top of Golden Lion's head and used the soul-devouring art to devour his spirit beast. Then, he crushed Golden Lion's head and ended his life. Yi Qianfeng and the other 2 worked together to kill 2 level 4 beast emperors, intimidating the experts of the True Demon Clan. It also made Gloom Butcher, who was suppressed by the Sword Puppet and the King of Massacre, feel a strong sense of danger. Third Uncle Fu, go help Blood River deal with Gloom Butcher. Ling Yu, go help Senior Jiang. After killing Green Robe and Golden Lion, Yi Qianfeng's sharp eyes swept across the battlefield and transmitted his instructions. Then he stepped on the sword steps and walked through the void, killing all the experts of the True Demon Clan and Dark Azura, Hall who blocked his way. He arrived beside Bai Feng and Zheng Biyue, who were under heavy pressure. Chengfeng, be careful. This blood demon's battle strength is beyond imagination. Bai Feng saw Yi Qianfeng coming over on the sword diagram and reminded him, Don't worry, Senior. He can't hurt me. As he spoke, Yi Qianfeng ignited his demonic god bloodline and transformed into a terrifying demonic god body. His entire body was covered with crimson red blood qi, and terrifying energy surged up like waves. It was as if a demonic god had been reborn. Golden Body Secrets. After transforming into his divine demon body, Yi Qianfeng used the Golden Body Secrets again. The surface of his steel-like body was covered in a thick layer of golden light, increasing his defense by 50%. He directly rushed toward the terrifying blood demon. Die! The blood demon let out a deep and savage muffled roar. Its giant hand, which was filled with endless bloody light, fiercely slapped down. It shattered the layers of air and bombarded Yi Qianfeng, who was close to it. Be careful. Bai Feng and Zheng Biyue didn't expect Yi Qianfeng to be so daring. He actually used his physical body to block the blood demon's terrifying attack. They both warned him. However, after using the Golden Body Secrets, Yi Qianfeng's physical body surpassed an ordinary mid-grade Dao tool. Although the blood demon was strong, it couldn't cause any fatal damage to him. 60 million gene of force. Yi Qianfeng raised the strength of his physical body to the limit. Like a meteor, he heavily collided with the blood demon's giant hand. A loud explosion resounded. He blocked it. He used his physical body to block the blood demon's attack. This kid is definitely a monster. Bai Feng and Zheng Biyue's eyes widened. They stared in horror at Yi Qianfeng's indestructible body. Even their souls trembled. Seniors, I'll take charge of defense. You two take charge of offense. Quickly kill the blood demon. Yi Qianfeng shouted at the shocked faces of Bai Feng and Zheng Biyue. All right. After recovering from their shock, Bai Feng and Zheng Biyue both took action. They controlled their Tao treasures and attacked the Blood Demon's body. Because Yi Chenfeng was resisting the Blood Demon's attacks, Bai Feng and Zheng Yue pushed their offensive power to the limit. Sharp ancient swords and destructive lotuses constantly destroyed the Blood Demon's body, breaking apart the array diagram. F***CK. Where did this monster come from? The more the great demon envoy and the other two fought, the more frightened they became. The more they fought, the more their hearts trembled. They were deeply shocked by Yi Chenfeng's intrepid body. Although the blood demon that they condensed with the help of the Tri-Despair demon killing formation was terrifying, if the blood demon was killed, they would suffer a severe backlash and be seriously injured. Blood chi, burn it all. The great demon envoy and the other two bit their lips and continued to burn their blood chi, injecting it into the Tri-Despair demon killing formation to repair the blood demon's cracked body. However, under Yi Chenfeng's relentless defense, the blood demon couldn't harm Zhang Yue and Bai Feng at all. This allowed them to push their offensive power to the limit, bombarding the blood demon and forcing it to retreat. Frost Black Flag, Frost Falling Sky. Just as the blood demon's injuries were getting worse and worse, Zhang Yue shook the Frost Black Flag, forming endless cold air that froze the blood demon's broken body. It forcefully cut off the blood demon's infusion of blood chi into the Tri-Despair demon killing formation. In the next moment, Bai Feng, who was in a frenzied state, used his ultimate move. The Tao intent of yin and yang and the Tao intent of sword gushed out of his body. They complemented each other and merged into the 7 ancient swords. Sky ruling ancient sword. The power of the Tao intent reached the limit. Bai Feng controlled the 7 ancient swords to intertwine together and slashed at the blood demon that shattered the cold air. The terrifying sword power caused a vacuum to appear in the space. The entire space seemed to be unable to withstand this sword and collapsed. Boom! The blood demon's huge body trembled. Its body exploded from Bai Feng's sky-ruling ancient sword, dissipating into the chaotic space. Mobile users, please browse to mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 810. PFFF. 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 The blood demon was slashed apart by Bai Feng. The great demon envoy, blood demon envoy, and the blood-robed elder all suffered from the backlash of the Tri-Despair demon slaughter formation. Their meridians were severely damaged, and large amounts of blood spurted out from their mouths. You 3 pieces of trash, die for me. Seeing the executioners who killed the Jasper Palace's disciples, the red-eyed Zheng Yue immediately launched a deadly attack at them. She wanted to kill them with her own hands and take revenge for the dead Jasper Palace's disciples. 3 arts of burial sword, burial earth, burial heaven. Zheng Yue attacked with surging killing intent. The great demon envoy and blood demon envoy wielded their respective low-grade Tao artifacts and executed the terrifying 3 arts of burial sword. They tore apart the heaven and earth like 2 torrents of death, bombarding towards Zheng Yue. The blood-robed elder also summoned an offensive disc array at this moment. It interweaved with a large amount of offensive Tao patterns and attacked. Cold Crow Sky Raid. Facing the deadly attacks launched by the great demon envoy and the other 2, Zheng Yue didn't dodge. She poured her soul power and Tao intent into the Cold Crow flag, condensing a huge bird made of ice, and clashed with the attack. Boom! 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 The Cold Crow, Burial Heaven, and Burial Earth collided and immediately released a powerful destructive force. They fiercely repelled each other in midair, twisting the void. Immediately after, the blood-robed elder controlled the offensive disc array to attack. The terrifying offensive array patterns directly blasted the Cold Crow flag into pieces. Zheng Yue's attack was broken, and Bai Feng controlled the 6 ancient swords with astonishing offensive power to cleave through them like a hot knife through butter. They interweaved with hundreds of incomparably sharp sword lights and strangled the three. Retreat. After suffering from the backlash of the Try-to-Spare Demon Slaughter formation, the severely injured Great Demon Envoy and the other two didn't dare to continue fighting. They used all their skills to block the attacks of the ancient sword disc while trying to break out of the Jasper Palace. Sword steps. When the three broke out of the encirclement, Yi Chunfeng used the sword steps to intercept them. 70 sword Dao patterns were constantly shot out, sealing the space and attacking their bodies. Go to hell. Seeing Yi Chunfeng trying to stop them, the Great Demon Envoy and Blood Demon Envoy suppressed their injuries and used their powerful Dao skills to attack Yi Chunfeng, wanting to kill him. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. At this critical moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Vermilion Bird Cauldron and spat a mouthful of blood essence into it, awakening the soul of the Vermilion Bird and blocking the ferocious attacks of the two. Boom, boom, boom. A series of deafening explosions rang out, and the Vermilion Bird Cauldron resisted for 2 breaths before it was sent flying by the powerful attacks unleashed by the two of them. Black Killing Rune Destroy. The crimson-robed old man took advantage of the Vermilion Bird Cauldron being knocked away to launch an attack. Streaks of black formation patterns shot toward Yi Chunfeng's body like violent snakes. Yi Chunfeng did not dodge the attack of the Black Kill array pattern. Instead, he rushed forward with all his strength. Relying on his middle-grade Dao artifact body, he blocked the Black Kill array pattern and approached the shocked blood-robed elder. Let me send you to hell first. Yi Chunfeng's eyes were filled with killing intent. 3 Sky Demon Devil ropes broke out of his body and bound the level 3 combat Beast Emperor, sealing off the space where the crimson-robed elder could dodge. Following that, the 3 fused Dao intents were infused into his right fist. The force of 60 million pounds exploded and blasted toward the crimson-robed elder, who had nowhere to dodge. Black Killing Array Pattern Defend. Sensing the terrifying power of Yi Chunfeng's punch, the crimson-robed elder immediately placed the Black Killing Array Pattern in front of him to block this fatal punch. Crack! Yi Chunfeng's punch that was filled with unparalleled destructive power smashed the Black Killing Array Pattern into pieces and landed on the crimson-robed elder's chest without any decrease in power. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng's fist that was filled with Dao intent and destructive power exploded. It shattered the crimson-robed elder's defense and penetrated his chest. You want to kill me? Die with me. With his vitality destroyed, the crimson-robed elder revealed his vicious side. He ignited all the soul power in his body and released a destructive power. He launched a fatal attack toward Yi Chunfeng, wanting to take him down with him. However, Yi Chunfeng's physical defense was too terrifying. The crimson-robed elder's self-destruction only slightly injured him and was unable to destroy his body. However, the Great Demon Envoy and the Blood Demon Envoy took advantage of the crimson-robed elder's self-destruction to break out of the encirclement and fly into the Jasper Palace. The strongest Great Demon Envoy and the Blood Demon Envoy had escaped. Forest Butcher, whose attacks were suppressed by the Sword Puppet, the King of Slaughter, and Fu Qingshan, and the Black and White Demon Envoys, who were fighting fiercely with Kong Sungchen and the Spirit Fish, had also escaped into the Jasper Palace. Their escape directly disintegrated the battle intent of the True Demon Tribe and the Dark Azura Hall's experts, causing them to panic. They abandoned their opponents and used all their skills to escape. Chase with all your strength. Don't let them escape through the teleportation array. Seeing the experts of the 2 great powers escape into the Jasper Palace, Zheng Biyu immediately guessed that they were most likely going to use the ancient teleportation array in the Jasper Palace to escape. She waved the Cold Crow flag and chased with all her strength. She was determined to kill them all and avenge the dead Jasper Palace disciples. Under the pursuit of Zheng Biyu, Kong Sungchen, and the others, the experts of the 2 great powers suffered heavy casualties. Experts were constantly being killed by the destruction Dao intent that they blasted out. However, The great demon envoy and the others still escaped into the forbidden grounds of the Jasper Palace, arriving at the ancient teleportation array sealed in the depths of the forbidden grounds. Zhang Biyue, Kong Sungchen by phone, just you wait. The next time we come back, it will be your doomsday. The heavily injured great demon envoy gritted his teeth and quickly took out 3 teleportation stones. He fused them into the ancient teleportation array and activated it, wanting to escape through the teleportation array. There won't be a next time. Kong Sungchen, who is the fastest, roared. He forcefully threw out the falling star hammer that was constantly growing in size, ruthlessly smashing it into the ancient teleportation array. The terrifying force forcefully shattered the 3 teleportation stones that activated the teleportation array, interrupting the teleportation. In the next moment, by phone, Zhang Biyue, Yi Qinfeng, the king of massacre, and the others charged over. They continuously blasted out terrifying Dao techniques, bombarding the panicked experts of the 2 great powers and crazily harvesting their lives. Soon, blood flowed like a river outside the teleportation array. The smell of blood drifting in the air was almost tangible. It was nauseating. With the teleportation interrupted, the great demon envoy, the black and white demon envoys, and the others could only brace themselves and try to kill their way out. However, their fighting spirit had waned, and they could not resist the attacks of Kong Sungchen, Zhang Biyue, and the others. Their injuries continued to worsen. Just as the true demon clan and the Sunluo temple were in danger and were about to be surrounded and killed by the experts of the Jiang and by families, the ancient teleportation array that was hit by the falling star hammer suddenly lit up. Rays of dazzling teleportation light shot out from the ancient teleportation array, rendering the chaotic space as bright as day. In the next moment, 2 tall women wearing black martial arts clothes and silver devil masks suddenly walked out from the Jasper Palace's teleportation array. They were level 6 combat beast emperors. Their auras shook the space around them. Although the 2 women were wearing silver devil masks, Yi Qinfeng's eyes widened when he saw the tallest woman in black with an extremely hot body. He felt a sense of familiarity. It's her. A beautiful face involuntarily appeared in Yi Qinfeng's mind. Mobile users, please browse to M. Read. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 811. Demon Queen, Saintess, you're finally here. The great demon envoy and the others, who were on the brink of death, heaved a sigh of relief when they saw the 2 devil-masked women walking out of the teleportation array. They were pleasantly surprised and shouted loudly, "A bunch of trash. You have so many experts and set up such an inescapable trap. In the end, you were still hunted down and your escape route was sealed. If it weren't for your value, trash like you wouldn't be worth my insanest help." The demon queen, who had a voluptuous figure and a mature charm like a peach, lectured them coldly without a trace of emotion. "It's you. You're the one who severely injured me and controlled my soul." Zhang Biyue gritted her teeth and said when she recognized the mature charm of the demon queen, who had almost destroyed her. "Zhang Biyue, I have truly underestimated you. I never expected you to be able to break the soul seal I placed in your mind." The infernal queen looked coldly at the enraged Zhang Biyue. She was neither happy nor sad as she spoke slowly. "I swear that I'll return the damage your true demon clan has caused to my Biyue palace 100-fold. Zhang Biyue swore through gritted teeth. "Zhang Biyue, aren't you overestimating yourself? If I can capture you once, I can capture you again. However, I've already lost interest in you. This time, I'll personally destroy you and send you to hell," the demon queen said with murderous intent. "Qing Tian, Yixian, stay here. The rest of you, quickly leave the Biyue palace." The sudden appearance of the demon queen and saintess was too much of a threat. In order to avoid unnecessary casualties, Kong Sungchen ordered loudly, "Senior, we'll stay and help you." Yi Chen-feng said without backing down as he stared at the saintess, who was of unknown origin but gave him a familiar feeling. No, the two of them are too much of a threat. You can't stay here. Kong Sungchen refused immediately. Don't leave. Leave your lives here. When the infernal queen saw that Jiang and Bai wanted to retreat, she quickly fused with the power of her spiritual beast. A suffocating power erupted from her plump body. The next moment, the infernal queen's body blurred as she suddenly launched a lethal attack at the Jiang and Bai family experts, hoping to kill them all. Sun Moon Star Palm. Just as the infernal queen was about to strike, Kong Sungchen, who reacted quickly, suddenly appeared in front of her attack trajectory. He struck out with a huge hand that was filled with the power of the sun, moon, and stars, causing the space around him to tremble violently as he struck at the infernal queen. As the sun, moon, and stars' palm approached, the Devil Empress, who did not slow down, threw out a punch. A terrifying fist beam with a long demonic tail directly blasted the sun, moon, and stars' palm, and then bombarded Kong Sungchen, forcing him to attack consecutively before finally dispelling the Devil Empress attack. So strong. Seeing that Kong Sungchen was at a disadvantage in the face-to-face battle with the Devil Empress, Zheng Biyue quickly appeared in the air and fought side by side with Kong Sungchen, facing the unfathomable Devil Empress. As for Bai Feng, Bai Qing Tian, and Jiang Yixian, who had a grave expression on their faces, they looked at the Holy Maiden, who had a perfect figure and seemed to be flawless. They were on guard against her sneak attacks. You guys hold them back for me. The Saintess ordered the Great Demon Envoy, Blood Demon Envoy, and the others. Although the Great Demon Envoy and the others were seriously injured and their combat power was greatly reduced, they did not dare to disobey the orders of the Saintess, who had an extraordinary status. Ignoring their injuries, they controlled their respective Taoist artifacts to launch fierce attacks at Bai Feng and the others. When the Great Demon Envoy and the others attacked, the Saintess moved. She took a step forward, leaving behind an afterimage as she suddenly appeared in front of Yi Chen-feng. She reached out her white and tender hand and pressed it against Yi Chen-feng's chest. As expected, her eyes are on me. When the Saintess appeared, Yi Chen-feng had a feeling that her aura had locked onto him. Therefore, Yi Chen-feng was already prepared. The moment she attacked, he immediately used the sword steps to dodge. Yi Chen-feng's reaction was extremely fast, but the Saintess' attack speed was even faster. In an instant, she pressed out 8 dowel palms, sealing off Yi Chen-feng's space to dodge. His life was in danger. Xianming Extreme Dao, Illusory Dragon Water Shadow. Unable to dodge, several Dao wills gushed out of Yi Chen-feng's body. He struck out with the Xianming force with one hand and the dragon-like water shadow with the other. He stirred up the void to resist the Saintess Dao will palms. Boom, boom, boom. A series of violent explosions rang out. The extreme mystic force and the illusory dragon water shadow were both shattered. Yi Chen-feng was blown away by the terrifying residual power of the will of the way. A stream of blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth. Mad Demon, hurry up and save Chen-feng. He's in danger. Kong Sungchen, who was using all his strength to resist the Demon Queen's tide-like attacks, saw Yi Chen-feng being blown away by the Saintess. His heart tightened as he shouted at Bai Feng. However, under the all-out attacks of the Great Demon Ambassador, Blood Demon Ambassador, Black and White Demon Ambassador, Bai Feng was firmly entangled. He couldn't save Yi Chen-feng in a short period of time. God-shocking fist. Ancient instant mirror. Bai Feng was entangled by the Great Demon Ambassador and others, so he couldn't save Yi Chen-feng. At this moment, the Spirit Fish, King of Massacre, and Sword Puppet rushed to Yi Chen-feng's side to help him resist the Saintess attack. However, the Saintess' strength was too terrifying. She posed a great threat to Yi Chen-feng and the others. Yi Chen-feng could only rely on the Sword Puppet's defense to resist her fatal attack. Hanyan, do you really want to kill me? Yi Chen-feng sent a voice transmission as he fought the Saintess. When he first saw the Saintess, he felt that the Saintess of the true demon race was very likely Xue Hanyan, who he had an unclear relationship with. However, the Saintess didn't respond to Yi Chunfeng's voice transmission. She continued to slap her smooth, jade-like hands, blasting out a power that could destroy the void, worsening the injuries of Yi Chunfeng and the others. Han Yin, I know that I was wrong to spank you back then, but didn't you kiss me? Furthermore, I saved you. You can't be thinking of killing me to vent your anger over such a small matter, right? In order to confirm his guess, Yi Chunfeng kept mentioning what had happened in the Life Forbidden Zone and the dispute between him and Shui Hanyan. Just as Yi Chunfeng had guessed, when Yi Chunfeng mentioned the humiliation he had suffered back then, the Saintess' aura underwent a subtle change. However, her attacks became even more ferocious. The terrifying attacks directly sent the spirit fish flying several thousand meters away. It fiercely crashed into the ground, heavily injured. Yi Chunfeng and the King of Slaughter also vomited blood from the waves of ferocious attacks, retreating step by step. If it weren't for the sword puppet dispelling the majority of the attacks, Yi Chunfeng would have been defeated long ago. Han Yin, I know it's you. Don't pretend anymore. If you're really angry about me spanking you back then, I'll just let you spank me a few more times. There's no need to fight to the death between us. Sensing the change in the Saintess aura, Yi Chunfeng was basically certain that the Saintess was Shui Hanyan. He constantly provoked her, disturbing her mind, and looking for an opportunity to turn the situation around. You're courting death. Having her scars repeatedly touched by Yi Chunfeng, Shui Hanyan was completely enraged. She let out a bone-chilling voice and used her killing move. Yin Yang Sword. Shui Hanyan used one hand to form Yin and the other to form Yang, forming two Yin Yang swords. They cut through the void and slashed toward Yi Chunfeng and the King of Slaughter. Sword Puppet, defend. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng summoned the sword puppet in front of him, borrowing its defense to block the Yin Yang sword's fatal attack. Feeling the terrifying power of Shui Hanyan's killing move, the King of Slaughter continuously spat out blood essence into the ancient instantaneous mirror, using all its strength to block the Yin Yang sword's attack. Boom! Boom! Two loud sounds rang out, and the space trembled twice. Facing the Yin Yang sword's attack, the sword puppet didn't move at all. However, the King of Slaughter, who was holding the ancient instantaneous mirror, was sent flying 1,000 meters away, heavily injured like the spirit fish. The spirit fish and the King of Slaughter were heavily injured one after another, making Yi Chunfeng's situation even more dangerous. He couldn't figure out why Shui Hanyan wanted to kill him the moment she saw him. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Say button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 812. Han Yin, if you don't stop now, don't blame me for using the divine weapon spirit to deal with you. Although Yi Chunfeng was unwilling to expose the big secret of the 9-Dragon Jade Annulus, he had no choice but to use the divine weapon spirit to threaten Shui Hanyan. Mad Devil Hammer. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's warning, Shui Hanyan did not stop. Instead, she summoned her Dao Treasure Mad Devil Hammer and smashed it at Yi Chunfeng, forcing him to use the sword puppet to defend with all his strength. However, under Shui Hanyan's repeated attacks with the Mad Devil Hammer, the energy of the sword puppet was rapidly depleted. Furthermore, Shui Hanyan's sword steps increased her speed too quickly. Therefore, Yi Chunfeng did not dare to use the 9-Dragon Jade Annulus rashly, lest his attack failed and put him in a more dangerous situation. Feeling that the sword puppet had 1/3 of its energy left, Yi Chunfeng did not dare to continue to deplete the sword puppet's energy. Once he lost the sword puppet, Shui Hanyan's attacks would directly endanger his life. Golden Rock Bloodline Ignite. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng stored the sword puppet into the universe realm. Then, he ignited the Golden Rock Bloodline, wanting to rely on his speed to dodge Shui Hanyan's attacks. However, Shui Hanyan, who had broken through to the level 6 Beast Emperor realm, was too terrifying. Her attacks with the Mad Devil Hammer constantly distorted the void, affecting Yi Qinfeng's speed. When Shui Hanyan's Yin-Yang Dao intent was about to hit him, Yi Qinfeng immediately used sword steps, tearing apart the distorted void and dodging with all his strength. Shui Hanyan, you better pray that you don't give me a chance to take revenge. Otherwise, I will definitely strip you naked, hang you up, and spank your ass. Although Yi Qinfeng did not feel any killing intent from Shui Hanyan, each of her attacks was fatal. He gritted his teeth and transmitted his voice. Today, I will spank your ass first. After saying that, Shui Hanyan, who was angry out of humiliation, increased the frequency of her attacks. Her attacks swept towards Yi Qinfeng like a tidal wave, making him feel a strong sense of danger. Boom! Yi Qinfeng, who couldn't dodge, was struck by Shui Hanyan's Yin and Yang Dao insight, and his entire body was like a kite with its string cut as he fell from midair and fiercely smashed onto the ground, causing large amounts of blood to spray out from his mouth. After successfully injuring Yi Qinfeng, Shui Hanyan controlled the Mad Demon's hammer to smash down on Yi Qinfeng, who had fallen into the pit, dealing a fatal blow to him. At this critical moment, Yi Qinfeng summoned the Nine-Dragon Jade Annulus and poured his soul force into it, controlling it to resist the Mad Demon Hammer's attacks. Dong! When the Mad Devil's Hammer smashed into the Nine-Dragon Jade wall, it created a huge shockwave. A powerful repulsive force surged on the surface of the Nine-Dragon Jade wall, neutralizing the Mad Devil's fatal attack. He really does have a great treasure on him. Shui Hanyan's eyes, which were hidden behind the silver mask, lit up. She continued to control the Mad Demon Hammer to attack Yi Qinfeng. But at this moment, Yi Qinfeng used his sword steps and tore open the pit. Holding the Nine-Dragon Jade wall, he appeared in midair and relied on his speed to continue dodging Shui Hanyan's attacks. Let's see if your sword steps or mine are faster. Yi Qinfeng used his sword steps to dodge, while Shui Hanyan used her sword steps to pursue. The two turned into endless rays of light in midair, fiercely crisscrossing and riddling the chaotic void with thousands of holes. This Shui Hanyan should have cultivated her sword steps to the nuance realm. Feeling that Shui Hanyan's sword steps were faster than his, Yi Qinfeng controlled the God-Eater Brain imprint to move her steps while using the Nine-Dragon Jade wall to defend and dodge. While the God-Eater Brain imprint was deducing Shui Hanyan's footsteps, Yi Qinfeng's sword steps were constantly increasing in speed, and his body's potential was constantly stimulated. But under Shui Hanyan's ferocious attacks, Yi Qinfeng was in danger, and his injuries were worsening. If not for the fact that Yi Qinfeng's body was strong enough to be comparable to a mid-grade Dao artifact, Shui Hanyan's continuous attacks would have destroyed his body long ago. Ancient Sword of Heaven. After tearing apart the encirclement of the great demon envoy and the others, Baifeng quickly appeared beside Shui Hanyan. The Dao of Yin and Yang and the Dao of Sword gushed out of his body and fused into the Ancient Sword of Heaven as he launched his strongest attack at Shui Hanyan. The Ancient Sword of Six Paths controlled the world and cut through the void, bringing with it an unparalleled destructive force as it slashed at the ferocious Shui Hanyan. Because Baifeng's attack was so powerful, the space around Shui Hanyan began to collapse, forcing her to give up on attacking Yi Qinfeng and focus on defending against Baifeng's attack. Boom! The Mad Devil Hammer in Shui Hanyan's hand collided with Baifeng's Ancient Sword of Heaven, creating a destructive force that seemed to tear the sky apart. After taking the blow head-on, Baifeng ignored his injuries and continued to attack Shui Hanyan, not giving her a chance to kill Yi Qinfeng. Senior Bai, I don't know if you can restrict her movements for 1 second with your strength. Yi Qinfeng quickly consumed 3 heaven-grade soul elixirs. As he healed his injuries, he sent a voice transmission to Baifeng, who was in a demonic state. If Baifeng could restrict Shui Hanyan's movements, Yi Qinfeng could control the Nine-Dragon Jade Annulus to launch a fatal blow at her, seriously injuring her in one fell swoop and turning the situation around. Her strength is too terrifying. I can't restrict her with my current physical condition. Baifeng helplessly said, I'll let the sword puppet help you. With a thought, Yi Qinfeng summoned the sword puppet again and said, "Senior, as long as you can restrict her movements for 1 second, I'll be able to seriously injure her." "Okay, I'll try my best." At this time, Bai Feng didn't have time to think. He joined forces with the indestructible sword puppet and fiercely fought against Shui Hanyan. Kong Sung-chun, Zheng Yue, and the Devil Empress were also in a state of anxiety. Relying on her absolute strength, the Devil Empress made Kong Sung-chun and Zheng Yue's joint attacks fail time and time again. Her counterattacks were also worsening the injuries of Kong Sung-chun and Zheng Yue. At this time, the Devil Empress's superiority in realm was fully revealed, making Kong Sung-chun and Zheng Yue more and more anxious. They were constantly thinking of ways to turn the situation around. If they continued to delay, their situation would become more dangerous. Ancient Sword, seal the space. When the sword puppet blocked the continuous attacks of the mad devil hammer, Bai Feng spat a mouthful of blood essence into the ancient sword divine disc. He controlled 6 ancient swords with a bloody glow to descend from the sky and forcibly seal the space around Shui Hanyan. Good chance. Yi Qinfeng's eyes lit up. He didn't waste the excellent opportunity that Bai Feng had fought for. He controlled the 9-dragon jade annulus to launch a fatal attack on Shui Hanyan and end the battle. Suddenly, 2 cold lights appeared. A terrifying, murderous aura locked onto Yi Qinfeng. The next moment, 2 faint shadows appeared in front of Yi Qinfeng without any warning. 2 extremely sharp light swords stabbed at Yi Qinfeng's chest. They wanted to pierce through his chest and end his life. Not good. Yi Qinfeng didn't expect that there were still experts hiding in the dark waiting to assassinate him. Moreover, these 2 assassins' concealment skills were so high that they managed to deceive Yi Qinfeng's soul perception. At this critical moment, Yi Qinfeng's physical strength completely erupted. He quickly blasted out 2 punches and smashed them on the sharp sword tips. He paid the price of injuring his arms to forcefully resist the assassination attack. Suddenly, another sword light appeared. It was a sword that exceeded common sense. It was as if this sword appeared out of thin air. It was so fast that no one could react to it. Yi Qinfeng, who couldn't dodge, was stabbed in the chest by this sword light. His powerful physical body was directly pierced through. The terrifying sword light pierced through Yi Qinfeng's heart meridian like a hot knife through butter. A large amount of blood spurted out, and Yi Qinfeng was suddenly attacked by 3 extremely powerful assassins. It was out of everyone's expectations. Once his heart meridian was shattered by this sword, he would definitely be heavily injured and be at the mercy of others. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record this reading record. You'll be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 8:13. Chung Fenbro. Seeing Yi Qinfeng's body being pierced by the terrifying assassin's sword, Ling Yu, king of killers, Fu Qingshan, and the others felt their hearts tremble and rushed over without caring about their own safety. Dark Shadow, one of the 3 kings of assassins in Xingluo Sky City. Bai Feng, Kong Sung-chun, and the others recognized the origin of the 3 assassins who launched the lightning attack on Yi Qinfeng. Their pupils instantly dilated and they were stunned. The 3 assassins were Xingluo Sky City's biggest trump card and had existed for countless years. Although the 3 assassins rarely showed themselves, every time they made a move, someone would die. Even someone as strong as Kong Sung-chun and Bai Feng had to be wary of the 3 assassins. Chaos Divine would defend. At the critical moment, Yi Qinfeng controlled the Chaos Divine wood in his heart meridian to block the fatal sword, protecting his heart meridian and neutralizing the fatal blow. The assassin who tried to assassinate Yi Qinfeng was shocked by the Chaos Divine wood's defense. Just as he was about to continue his attack and was about to kill Yi Qinfeng and seize the 9-dragon jade annulus, Shui Hanyan suddenly made her move. She forcibly shook away an ancient sword and threw the mad devil hammer at the assassin. The terrifying attack forced the assassin to retreat and saved Yi Chunfeng from the brink of death. The assassination was interrupted by Shui Hanyin, and the other two assassins continued their attack on Yi Chunfeng. Two extremely fast sword shadows were like two stealthy vipers, revealing their fangs and continuously attacking Yi Chunfeng. As for the dark shadow assassin who had just been forced back by Shui Hanyin, he melted into a strange black light and stabbed his sword towards Shui Hanyin, not giving her any chance to save Yi Chunfeng. Chunfeng, watch out! The assassin's speed was too fast, and Bai Feng couldn't save Yi Chunfeng in time. He could only let out a terrifying roar to affect the attacks of the two assassins. At the critical moment, Yi Chunfeng ignited his dragon heart, and his arms exploded with a terrifying strength. He held the 9-dragon jade annulus in front of him and blocked the two fatal swords. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng used his final trump card. He instantly burned 3,000 years of his lifespan and borrowed the boundless vitality to suppress the injuries on his body. He forcefully raised his cultivation realm to Class 4 Combat Beast Emperor Realm. Hand your life over. Yi Chunfeng, whose strength had skyrocketed, let out a roar as he stepped on the sword. Like a floating sword light, his speed reached its peak as he launched a counterattack against the assassin who tried to assassinate him. As the sword slashed out, Yi Chunfeng's Tao will, soul power, and strength had all reached their peak. The incomparably sharp Emperor celestial sword slashed down from the heavens and isolated the void. It was as if a terrifying sword mountain was pressing down, causing the two assassins to reveal shocked expressions. They didn't dare to receive it head-on. Their strange bodies became blurry as they tried their best to dodge. Boom! Yi Chunfeng's sword slashed at the void, splitting open a huge gap in the chaotic void, releasing billowing black chi. Yi Chunfeng's sword forced the two assassins to retreat. The assassin that had just blocked the Shui Hanyin suddenly turned around and blended into a strange attack trajectory. He thrust his sword towards Yi Chunfeng's back. Divine Devil Bloodline Ignition, Golden Body Arts. Unable to dodge, Yi Chunfeng roared furiously. His voice reverberated through the 9 heavens. He ignited his Divine Devil Bloodline again and executed the Golden Body Arts, raising his defense to the extreme. Tisk! The assassin's sword stabbed onto Yi Chunfeng's steel-like Divine Devil Body. It broke through the reddish-gold radiance, but wasn't able to pierce through Yi Chunfeng's body, which was superior to ordinary mid-grade Tao artifacts. Yi Chunfeng made use of his strong foundation and vigorous life force to reverse the situation of certain death. He escaped death and began his desperate counterattack. A terrifying strength of more than 70 million gene burst out from his body. He ignited the Emperor's Celestial Artifact Spirit and swung the Emperor's Celestial Sword, which was filled with sword aura. He slashed towards the assassin. Unable to dodge in time, the assassin's expression changed slightly. He used his black killing sword to block with all his might. Clang! The two great Tao artifacts clashed together and immediately surged with boundless sparks. There was an ear-piercing sound of collision. A terrifying strength that was beyond the assassin's imagination passed through the black killing sword and into his arm. It made him feel as if a mountain had crashed into his body. His arm went numb as he was sent flying. What kind of mystic ability is this? How can it be so terrifying? Feeling Yi Chunfeng's strength skyrocketing, Bai Feng, Kong Sungchun, Bai Qingtian, and the others widened their eyes in shock. It could be said that the existence of the life spirit technique was beyond their imagination and understanding. True Demon's Tribe and Sun Luo Hall, follow me. Seeing Yi Chunfeng's strength skyrocketing, Shui Hanyin's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. However, she didn't attack Yi Chunfeng again. Instead, she led the two forces away. Hearing Shui Hanyin's order, the Devil Empress, who relied on her absolute strength to suppress Kong Sungqin and Zheng Biyue, was surprised. However, she didn't disobey Shui Hanyin's order. She decisively abandoned Kong Sungqin and Zheng Biyue and led the True Demon's Tribe and Sun Luo Hall's experts to break out of the Jasper Palace. Seeing the true demon's tribe and Sun Luo Hall's experts fly away, Kong Sungchin and the others, who were heavily injured and exhausted, didn't stop them and let them leave. Chun Feng, we're coming to help you. Kong Sungchun, Bai Feng, and the others quickly approached. They wanted to help Yi Chun Feng deal with the 3 unfathomable assassins and kill them. No need. I can deal with them myself. Seniors, you just need to seal the space and don't let the 3 of them escape. Yi Chun Feng said with a high fighting spirit. He had just comprehended the essence of the sword steps from Shui Hanyan. He couldn't wait to use the 3 assassins to train himself and kill them with his own hands. He brandished the Emperor's celestial sword, and every strike was like a sword mountain crashing down. The terrifying power completely countered the attacks of the 3 Umbra assassins, forcing them to retreat continuously. The 3 assassins' lightning-fast counterattacks were unable to pose a threat to Yi Chun Feng as he dodged them with his sword steps. As Yi Chun Feng's sword steps became faster and faster, he gradually comprehended the second stage of the sword steps, subtle realm. His unfathomable speed made the 3 assassins even more fearful. Sky Demon demonic ropes seal the space. When the 3 assassins couldn't withstand Yi Chun Feng's powerful attacks and wanted to retreat, 5 Sky Demon demonic ropes broke out of Yi Chun Feng's body and sealed the space. In the next moment, 4 Dao intents burst out from Yi Chun Feng's body. They surged into the Emperor's sky, sword like a surging tide. The powerful sword aura caused the air to boil. 7 swords of judgment, judgment. Yi Chun Feng held the sword with both hands and slashed with all his strength. A light sword that was like the Milky Way in the starry sky burst out, ripping apart the space and slashing towards the 3 assassins. Sensing the power of the ruling sword, the 3 shadow assassins' faces changed slightly as they smelled a strong sense of danger. They all used their most powerful killing moves to face the ruling sword that was overturning the void. Boom! The 4 killing moves clashed together, and the intense explosion shook the heavens and earth. The space distorted, and the space around the 4 of them turned blurry. It was as if the space had been torn apart. When the destructive power that swept through the sky became more and more intense, the 3 dark shadow assassins spat out blood and flew backwards in the destructive storm. A large number of cracks appeared on the low-grade Dao artifact battle armor they wore. After facing Yi Chun Feng's powerful attacks head-on, the 3 assassins were all injured. When Yi Chun Feng used his life-soul technique, his explosive attack deeply shocked everyone present. Mobile reading website. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading history. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 814. Strong, Too Strong. The 3 most terrifying kings of assassins in Xingluo Sky City were actually suppressed by Yi Chun Feng. What kind of divine ability did Yi Chun Feng use to be so strong? Yeah, the divine ability he used is too overbearing. His current combat power has probably surpassed ours. Witnessing Yi Chun Feng sending the 3 assassins flying and displaying his terrifying strength, even Kong Sungchen, Bai Feng, and the rest were deeply shocked. They could not imagine that the 3 most powerful assassins in Xingluo Sky City would be defeated by Yi Chun Feng. Star King, do you know Yi Chun Feng's background? Bai Feng took a deep breath and suppressed the shock in his heart as he asked. He said he is a rogue cultivator without any sect. Kong Sungchin laughed bitterly. That's impossible. Bai Feng and Zheng Bua looked at each other and saw the shock and doubt in each other's eyes. King's sword, Emperor's celestial sword. After the 3 assassins were sent flying, Yi Chun Feng followed up with his sword steps. 4 great Dao intents and a strength of 70 million Jin were completely unleashed. He continuously used the Emperor's celestial sword technique and slashed at them with the King's sword. He was determined to kill the 3 assassins who had ambushed him. As Yi Chun Feng's attacks became more and more violent, the King's sword and Emperor's celestial sword clashed with each other. The 3 assassins were under immense pressure. However, the three of them were all outstanding talents. Their strength had reached level 5 combat beast emperors. After the three of them transformed into their beast soul forms and increased their strength, they were still able to withstand the waves of attacks from Yi Qianfeng. The entire void was torn apart by their ferocious attacks. Dragon's Heart Power Burst. When the three assassins started to counterattack, Yi Qianfeng completely ignited his dragon's heart. The surging power of qi and blood instantly filled his entire body, increasing his strength once again. A dragon's roar that caused the heavens and earth to tremble could be heard. Yi Qianfeng instantly fused with the ascendant celestial sword, causing void space to churn. As he fused with his Tao intent, he was like a meteor that fell to the ground and smashed towards a shadowy assassin that was thrusting towards him. Boom! In a head-on collision, surging Tao insights and energy madly surged into his body, shaking him to the point he spat out mouthfuls of blood repeatedly. Cracks appeared on the low-grade Tao artifact assassination sword in his hand, and the skin and flesh on his right arm were torn open to reveal ghastly white bones. Yi Qianfeng heavily injured a dark shadow assassin after using the man and weapon unity technique. He didn't give the assassin any chance to escape and closed in on him with the sword steps. He continuously unleashed his Tao will and over 70 million points of strength, attacking with all his might. He was determined to kill the assassin. Buzz! While Yi Qianfeng was attacking with all his might, two other Dark Shadow assassins attacked from the left and right. The assassination swords in their hands were swallowing with exceptional killing light as they attacked Yi Qianfeng's body with lightning speed, wanting to interrupt his attacks. Yi Qianfeng didn't dodge or evade the attacks of the two. He allowed the exceptional killing light to strike his body that was comparable to a mid-grade Tao artifact. He then attacked the Dark Shadow assassin who was covered in blood and was retreating. Qi and blood combustion. His attacks were completely suppressed by Yi Qianfeng. The Dark Shadow assassin, who was in a perilous situation, burned his qi and blood combustion at all costs, increasing his strength to the greatest extent as he fought with his life on the line. However, Yi Qianfeng was determined to kill him. Destructive sword mountains slashed down ferociously, constantly destroying his physical body and aggravating his injuries. By the time Yi Qianfeng had slashed down 28 times, the Dark Shadow assassin's arms had been slashed apart by Yi Qianfeng, transforming them into two balls of bloody mist. Seeing that their comrade was in danger, the two Dark Shadow assassins went all out, their swords bursting with the power to extinguish all things as they stabbed at Yi Qianfeng's temple. Sword Step. In this perilous moment, Yi Qianfeng used the sword step, his 100 swords attacking the two Dark Shadow assassins as he appeared behind the Dark Shadow assassin and unleashed a lethal attack. And this step of Yi Qianfeng's had the grace and speed of the subtle realm. Emperor's heaven-shocking slash. The invincible heavenly sword descended from the sky, fused with the Emperor's force, ruthlessly slashing down on the heavily injured Dark Shadow assassin's body, breaking through his defenses and splitting him in half from head to toe, completely killing him. Strong. Too strong. One of the kings of assassins of Xingluo Heaven City has been killed by Yi Qianfeng. I've heard that the Dark Shadow assassins have never failed before, but now they've been killed. This sort of accomplishment is enough to shock the entire Xingluo continent. I wonder if Sha Tianya will fly into a rage when he learns that the Dark Shadow assassin that used to intimidate the entire Xingluo continent has been killed. Seeing Yi Qianfeng kill the Dark Shadow assassin in such a domineering manner, everyone present felt their hearts pound in fear. Yi Qianfeng's domineering attitude was deeply imprinted in their minds. After killing one Dark Shadow assassin, the blood-drenched Yi Qianfeng roared. Taking advantage of the fact that his life energy had yet to fade, he launched a lethal attack at the other two Dark Shadow assassins, wanting to kill them both. Yi Qianfeng attacked at full speed. The two kings of assassins burned their blood essence to meet his attack. Just as the three of them were bathed in blood, a shocking killing light appeared, shattering the void as it pierced towards Yi Qianfeng. Sure enough, there's still someone hiding in the dark. Yi Chenfeng had not used the nine-dragon jade annulus because he was wary of a peerless expert hiding in the dark. Nine-dragon jade annulus exterminate. With a peerless killing intent, Yi Chenfeng continuously poured his soul force into the nine-dragon jade annulus. A ferocious dragon flew out from the nine-dragon jade annulus, stirring up the heavens and earth. It shattered the killing light and attacked a ghost-masked woman who had suddenly appeared. Feeling the terror of the nine-dragon jade annulus, the ghost-masked woman who had failed in her assassination attempt changed her moves again and again. While dodging, she attacked the attacking dragon. However, the nine-dragon jade annulus was a supreme-grade sacred treasure. Although Yi Chenfeng could only exert 1 or 2 ten-thousandths of its power, it was still not something she could contend with. Just as her attack was completely shattered by the mighty dragon, and she was on the verge of death, she threw out a huge stone inscription in front of her to block the attack of the nine-dragon jade annulus. Boom! Although the defensive power of the huge stone inscription was amazing, it still could not withstand the attack of the nine-dragon jade annulus and was shattered by the mighty dragon. And the destructive attack of the nine-dragon jade annulus once again shocked everyone present, making their souls tremble, and many people's bodies even started to tremble. Let's go! Using the moment when the huge stone inscription blocked the attack, the mysterious woman who had suddenly appeared decisively withdrew and broke out of the encirclement with the two dark shadow assassins. Where do you think you're going? Kong Sung-chun, Bai Feng, Zheng Biyue, and the others roared and tried their best to block them with powerful Taoist instruments and Taoist treasures. However, the strength of the mysterious woman who had suddenly appeared was too terrifying. Her methods were astonishing. Coupled with the shadowless assassination of the two shadow assassins, they quickly broke through the defensive line of Jiang Xingchen and the others who were heavily injured and exhausted. They broke through the encirclement. Seniors, don't chase after them. Although Yi Chenfeng was unwilling to give up, after using the nine-dragon jade annulus to attack, Yi Chenfeng's body was seriously weakened. In addition, the burning life force was beginning to fade. In desperation, he called out to Kong Sung-chun and the others, allowing the mysterious woman to save the two dark shadow assassins and disappear into the horizon. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Say button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 815. Big Brother Chenfeng, are you all right? Sensing that Yi Chenfeng's body was extremely weak, the blood-covered spirit fish immediately rushed to his side, gently supporting him as he nervously asked, "Relax. I'm fine." The pale-faced Yi Chenfeng forced out a smile and forced himself to say, "Don't worry. Seniors, I'll leave the matter of cleaning up the mess to you. I'm going to treat my wounds." Yi Chenfeng's body was too weak. In order to avoid any more accidents, he immediately took the spirit fish, the sword puppet, the king of slaughter, and Fu Qingshan and left the Green Jade Palace. They found a relatively quiet place in the palace and laid down the 100-kill formation to treat their wounds. Although Yi Chenfeng had displayed his might in this battle, killing Green Robe, the Golden Lion King, and the King of Assassins of Xingluo Heaven City, Shui Hanyin, and the Shadow Assassin had dealt extremely severe injuries to him. Moreover, he had burned 3,000 years of his lifespan, so he had no choice but to consume a fruit of life to recover. After consuming the second fruit of life, Yi Chenfeng only had one fruit of life left. But in this battle of life and death, Yi Chenfeng had also obtained many benefits. Not only had the Blood Dragon Emperor completely fused with Green Robe Soul Beast, further increasing his strength, but Yi Chenfeng had also comprehended the true essence of the subtle realm, greatly increasing his speed. While Yi Chenfeng was treating his wounds, the Green Jade Palace was also in the process of rebuilding. Although the Green Jade Palace had suffered heavy losses in this battle, Zheng Biyue's 5 brilliant disciples and several of the most outstanding disciples of the Green Jade Palace had survived, and their foundation had not been shaken. This made Zhang Biyue even more grateful to Yi Chenfeng. Without Yi Chenfeng, the true demon race's inescapable net and experts would have wiped them out, and the hundreds of thousands of years of the Green Jade Palace's foundation would have been destroyed. 3 days later, Yi Chenfeng, who had basically recovered from his injuries and recovered his lifespan, came out of seclusion. Kong Sungchun, Zhang Biyue, and Bai Feng immediately rushed over to express their gratitude when they heard that he had come out of his closed-door training. Chenfeng, we owe you even more now. I really don't know how to repay you. Although Yi Chenfeng had returned to being a level 1 Beast Emperor, Kong Sungchin and the other two did not dare to underestimate him. They treated him as an expert of the same level. In particular, Yi Chenfeng's 2 trump cards, the Life Soul Spell and the 9-Dragon Jade Annulus, gave them an indelible memory and shock. Seniors, you're too polite. Yi Chenfeng smiled and said, however, after we resolve the crisis of the Xingluo continent, I do have a request. Chenfeng, what do you need us to do? Bai Feng asked. I would like the 3 of you to accompany me to propose a marriage. Yi Chenfeng thought for a while and said, the reason why the Yu family was hostile towards Yi Chenfeng and did not agree to let Yu Nikhang marry him was because he had no power or influence. He could not bring any benefits to the Yu family. However, if Yi Chenfeng became the city lord of Xingluo Sky City and brought Kong Sungchin and the other 2 experts to the Yu family to propose a marriage, the situation would be different. Propose a marriage. Do you have someone in mind? Bai Feng revealed a disappointed expression and asked loudly. Yes, but her family does not accept me. Therefore, I would like the 3 of you to support me and propose a marriage together. Yi Chenfeng nodded and said, F***CK. Which clan did you come from? They actually didn't accept you? Are they blind? Bai Feng immediately cursed. He could not imagine which family would be so blind as to reject such a peerless genius. When a matter in Xingluo continent is settled, I will tell the 3 of you in detail, Yi Chenfeng said. All right, as long as the 3 of us do not die, we will accompany you to propose a marriage, Kong Sungchun said in front of everyone. Seniors, actually, you don't have to be so pessimistic. Although the enemy's strength is far above ours, we still have a chance to turn the tide. Yi Chenfeng said slowly when he felt that Kong Sungchin and the other 2 experts were not confident. Sigh, although we have won this battle, the enemy's strength is far beyond our imagination. Zhang Yue sighed softly and said, if I am not mistaken, the mysterious girl who appeared at the end and saved the 2 Dark Shadow assassins was most likely Lian Xing from Xingluo Sky City. From the terrifying battle prowess she displayed, she should have broken through to rank 6 combat Beast Emperor before us. Lian Xing, it's actually her. Yi Chenfeng's brows slightly twitched. He did not expect that the mysterious girl who was almost killed by the 9 Dragons Jade Annulus was actually the 8 Slaughter War Emperor's lover, Lian Xing, who had fallen into Sha Tianya's embrace in the end. After this battle, I believe that the true demon tribe and Xingluo Sky City will recuperate for a period of time and will not take the initiative to attack again. And if the 3 seniors break through to rank 6 combat Beast Emperor during this period of time, and Patriarch Bai and Patriarch Zhang break through to rank 5 combat Beast Emperor, we will have a chance to turn the situation around, Yi Chenfeng said. Sigh, how difficult is it to break through to rank 6 combat Beast Emperor? Although I am only a hair's breadth away from breaking through, I have not been able to break through to rank 6 combat Beast Emperor even after spending close to 100 years, Bai Feng said with a soft sigh after hearing Yi Chenfeng's plan. However, Kong Sungchin's eyes lit up because he knew that Yi Chenfeng had a pill recipe that could allow them to break through to rank 6 combat Beast Emperor in a short period of time. Senior Bai, Senior Zheng, I will not hide it from you. I have an ancient pill recipe in my hands. The Extreme Emperor Dao pill written on it can allow you to break through to rank 6 combat Beast Emperor in a short period of time. And I have mentioned this matter to Senior Jiang before, asking him to help me gather the spirit materials needed to concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao pill, Yi Chenfeng said frankly. Extreme Emperor Dao Pill. You have the pill recipe to concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao Pill. Bai Feng and Zheng Biue had also heard of the Extreme Emperor Dao Pill before, so they knew of its heaven-defying medicinal efficacy. If Yi Chunfeng could concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao Pill, they would indeed have a chance to break through to rank 6 combat Beast Emperor in a short period of time. Yes, but the spirit materials needed to concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao Pill are relatively rare, so it will not be easy to gather them all. So in order to gather them all, the 3 seniors might have to pay a price. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, "Don't worry about it. Just leave the matter of gathering the spirit materials to us. Even if we have to turn the entire Xingluo continent upside down, we will definitely gather them all," Bai Feng promised as he patted his chest. All right. Yi Chunfeng nodded and told Bai Feng and the others about the spirit materials needed to concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao Pill. All right, 3 seniors. This junior would like to leave for a period of time. If the 3 seniors manage to gather the spirit materials needed to concoct the Extreme Emperor Dao Pill, just use your communication pearl to inform me. I will rush back as soon as possible. Chengfeng, where are you going? Kong Sungchen asked. Xingluo, Heavenly City. Chengfeng, this is too dangerous. If the people of Xingluo, Heavenly City expose you, you will lose your lives. Kong Sungchen and the others did not expect Yi Chunfeng to be so bold as to risk his life at this critical juncture and go to Xingluo, Heavenly City, so they quickly advised. Rest assured, seniors, we will not be reckless. Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, "Furthermore, I also want to use the cultivation resources of Xingluo, Heavenly City to further improve myself." This, Kong Sungchen saw that Yi Chunfeng had already made up his mind, so he did not try to persuade him anymore. He solemnly said, "All right then, when you go to Xingluo, Heavenly City, you must be extremely careful. Be careful of Sha Tianya and Lian Xing. If the 2 of them join forces, they can easily wipe out the entire Xingluo continent. Here, this is a little something from the 3 of us. Please accept it." Knowing that Yi Chunfeng's group of 4 was heading to the Starry Sky City, Jiang Xingchen and the other 2 were not stingy. They gave Yi Chunfeng's group of 4 a lot of spirit pills and treasures to protect themselves. "Seniors, please take care. We will be leaving now." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng and the others bid farewell to Kong Sungchen and the others and quietly left the Jasper Palace that was being rebuilt. However, they did not immediately leave for Xingluo, Heavenly City. Instead, they followed the map in Fu Qingshan's hands and flew towards the Xingluo continent's greatest secret, the Xingluo Imperial Mausoleum. Mobile reading site. Book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 816. Chaotic Cloud Peak. We finally found the place. Yi Chunfeng and the other 3 followed the directions of the map and flew for more than half a month. They arrived at a primitive mountain range where the mountains were connected and intersected with each other. Clouds and mist lingered around the mountain range all year round. Waterfalls and ancient trees cover the mountains. When looked at from afar, numerous lofty mountains pierced into the sky and through the clouds into disorder, and it gave one an extremely strong visual impact. This place was precisely the chaotic cloud peak that the Starnet Imperial Tomb was located on the map. And there are people in the mountain range. As soon as Yi Chunfeng and the other 3 flew into the mountain range with complicated terrain, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul spirit sensed the aura of people in the mountain range. He guessed that the location of the Xingluo Imperial Mausoleum had already been exposed. The True Demon Tribe and the Xingluo Sky City had already sent people to monitor this place. Bypassing the several spies hidden in the mountain range, Yi Chunfeng and the other 3 followed the map and quickly flew into the depths of the chaotic cloud peak. As they went deeper, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul spirit sensed many powerful heavenly beasts and restrictions in the depths of the chaotic cloud peak, especially the ancient restrictions in the depths of the mountain range. Even Yi Chunfeng felt danger. Fortunately, Yi Chunfeng and the other three had the map to guide them. In addition to Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul spirit perception, they avoided all the dangers and carefully went deeper. Roughly a day later, Yi Chunfeng and the other three arrived at the deepest part of the chaotic cloud peak according to the map. There were a large number of ancient offensive restrictions hidden in the space here. If one accidentally touched them, they would be attacked by the restrictions and killed. Everyone, follow me. After passing through these restrictions, we will arrive at the periphery of the Xingluo Imperial Mausoleum. Yi Chunfeng glanced at the map in his hand and controlled the power of the God-Eater brain to radiate out and deduce a safe path. He led the King of Massacre and the other three and moved forward through the layers of restrictions. However, as they walked, the space in front of them was completely sealed by powerful restrictions, blocking Yi Chunfeng and the other three's path. Space-swallowing insect, it's up to you now. With a single thought, Yi Chunfeng summoned the space-swallowing bug, a level 7 heavenly beast, and ordered it to devour the spatial restriction. It forcibly broke through a passageway and arrived at the end of the restricted space, where the spiritual qi was extremely dense. There, they saw the entrance to the Imperial Mausoleum sealed in a powerful restriction. Grooves. Looking at the 6 grooves on the gate of the Imperial Mausoleum, Yi Chunfeng knew that these were the 6 keyholes to open the Imperial Mausoleum of Xingluo. I wonder if the 9-dragon jade annulus can break through the entrance to Xingluo's Imperial Mausoleum. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng summoned the 9-dragon jade annulus. He was prepared to wait for the space swallower bug to break through the restrictions of the formation. Then, he would attack the entrance of the Imperial Star Mausoleum with the King of Massacre and the others, attempting to open it by force. Attack! About 2 hours later, the space swallower bugs broke through the restriction that sealed the entrance of the Imperial Mausoleum. Then, Yi Chunfeng and the other three, who were waiting solemnly, used their most powerful attacks to attack the dark door of the tomb. Boom, boom, boom. Under the attack of the 9-dragon jade annulus, the ancient mirror of moment and the other treasures, the black gate of the tomb exploded with deafening sounds. The terrifying power shook the space and caused many cracks to appear. However, under such a terrifying attack, the black gate of Xingluo's Imperial Mausoleum did not move. It was not affected at all. It's so sturdy. Looking at the black gate that did not show any signs of damage, Yi Chunfeng was shocked. After the attack failed, Yi Chunfeng quickly sat outside the Xingluo's Imperial Mausoleum. He recovered his almost depleted soul power and prepared to continue controlling the 9-dragon jade annulus. After about half a day, Yi Chunfeng recovered his soul power. He ordered the space swallower to swallow a huge hole in the restriction space and controlled the 9-dragon jade annulus to continue attacking. However, the gate of the Imperial Mausoleum was impregnable. No matter how Yi Chunfeng and the others attacked, they could not move it at all. After several attempts, Yi Chunfeng finally gave up. This Xingluo's Imperial Mausoleum is indeed the tomb of the strongest person in the Xingluo continent, Star Emperor. Just the gate of the tomb is so sturdy. I really don't know what dangers lie inside. Yi Chunfeng looked at the impregnable gate and sighed softly. Chunfeng, I think this place is not bad. The spiritual qi is pure and very quiet. It's very suitable for cultivation. Why don't we cultivate here for a while? When our strength increases, we could try to attack this gate and see if we can break it open. Fu Qingshan suggested. All right, then we will cultivate here for a few days. The internal strife of the Xingluo continent allowed Yi Chunfeng to see how terrifying the Xingluo heavenly city and true demon race were. If Yi Chunfeng wanted to face them head-on and become the city lord of the Xingluo heavenly city, he would need to increase his strength. If Yi Chunfeng could successfully break through to the rank 2 combat beast emperor realm, he felt that with his strength, he should be able to control the first layer of the universe realm and enter it at will. At that time, with the universe realm as a life-saving trump card, even if his identity was exposed, Yi Chunfeng would not need to be afraid. Even if Xia Tianya and Lian Xing had heaven-defying methods, they would not be able to break through the defense of the universe realm. Shuihe, third Uncle Fu, Ling, these three great Tao pills are for you. Try to break through as soon as possible. Yi Chanfeng took out the three great Tao pills and gave them to the King of Massacre and the others. Great Tao pill. Looking at the milky white great Tao pill in his hand, which was filled with pill patterns and emitted a refreshing fragrance, Fu Qingshan revealed a look of pleasant surprise. After going through a series of bloody battles, Fu Qingshan's strength had increased by a lot. In such an excellent cultivation environment, he was confident that he could break through to the rank 2 combat beast emperor realm with the help of the great Tao pills, medicinal power, and Tao intent. All right, we will go into seclusion for 3 months this time. After 3 months, we will leave this place and head to the Xingluo heavenly city. After saying that, Yi Qinfeng and the other three found a quiet place to cultivate outside the Xingluo Imperial Mausoleum and began their 3-month seclusion. I wonder how much Demon Saint Cold Knight's Tao spirit can increase my strength to. Yi Qinfeng muttered to himself as he took out the Tao spirit that was sealed with a large number of array patterns. Shui Hanyin was able to break through to the rank 6 combat beast emperor realm in such a short time. Other than fusing with a large amount of life force in the life forbidden zone, she should also have refined a Tao spirit. Therefore, Yi Qinfeng was confident that he could break through to the rank 2 combat beast emperor realm with the help of Demon Saint Cold Knight's Tao spirit. Tao spirit refine. Yi Qinfeng undid the seal on the Tao spirit and cut a bloody wound on his chest. He pressed the Tao spirit that contained a large amount of energy into his body and controlled the death blaze to refine it. Boom! After being refined by the death blaze, the Tao spirit immediately erupted with boundless energy. Like a raging tide, it flowed through Yi Qinfeng's crisscrossing meridians and poured into every part of his body. The energy contained within the Tao spirit was extremely terrifying. However, Yi Qinfeng relied on his powerful true spirit body to withstand it. Demonic Qi. Demon Saint Cold Knight's Tao spirit indeed contains demonic Qi. When the Tao spirit was crazily releasing boundless energy, Yi Qinfeng felt the existence of demonic Qi. However, as the primal chaos divine would grew, the demonic Qi contained within the Tao spirit was no longer a threat to him. Primal chaos divine would devour. With a thought, Yi Qinfeng controlled the primal chaos divine would to extend tens of thousands of 5-colored roots all over his body. They devoured the demonic Qi in his meridians and suppressed the Tao spirit's power. Following that, Yi Qinfeng increased the speed of his soul-devouring art to the peak. He crazily refined the energy released by the Tao spirit and broke through to the rank 2 combat beast emperor realm. Very quickly, more than 2 months had passed. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the collect button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 817. After refining half of the Tao spirit, the Blood Dragon Emperor has finally reached its limit. The soul power in my body has also reached saturation. After more than 2 months of refining, Yi Qinfeng had reached the limit of his realm. His cultivation foundation was unbreakable. Everything was ready. With the help of the powerful Tao spirit, he started to break through the bottleneck. Rumble. When Yi Qinfeng tried to break through to the level 2 combat beast emperor, rolling dark clouds appeared in the space above his head again, covering the blazing sun. The entire space was pitch black. As expected, I have attracted the heavenly punishment by refining the Tao spirit that shouldn't have appeared in the Duhan continent. Feeling the heavenly punishment from the dark clouds, Yi Qinfeng woke up from his cultivation. However, Devil Saint Cold Knight's Tao spirit had been severely weakened after countless years of suppression. Therefore, the heavenly punishment it attracted was far inferior to the 5 elements heavenly punishment in the heaven and earth Tao diagram. Heavenly Punishment. Changfeng broke through to the level 2 combat Beast Emperor and attracted the Heavenly Punishment again. How'd he do it? Fu Qingshan and the others who were cultivating were also awakened by Yi Chunfeng's Heavenly Punishment. Fu Qingshan and the King of Massacre couldn't help but reveal envious expressions as they looked at the dark clouds that filled the sky and felt the death energy contained in the tribulation clouds. Although the Heavenly Punishment was extremely dangerous, the benefits were immeasurable. They didn't dare to imagine how high Yi Chunfeng's comprehension of Tao intent would reach after breaking through to the level 2 combat Beast Emperor after the Heavenly Punishment's baptism. After the time for an incense stick to burn, a deafening thunderclap that reverberated through the 9 heavens resounded from within the thick tribulation clouds, and it alarmed the entire chaotic cloud peak. The heavenly beasts and spirit beasts in the depths of the mountain range were so frightened that they started to flee. The entire chaotic cloud peak was plunged into chaos. Even the true demon clan and the heavenly star all heaven city spies who were hiding in the mountain range were alerted. What's going on? Could there be a terrifying demonic beast undergoing tribulation in the depths of the chaotic cloud peak? Looking at the violently tumbling tribulation clouds, the scouts of the 2 major forces widened their eyes in shock. He's here! Yi Chenfeng looked at the tribulation cloud spinning rapidly above his head, causing great changes in the world, and the terrifying power of the Heavenly Punishment gathering at an extremely fast speed. He opened his eyes that were like lightning and slowly stood up. At this moment, his entire body was surging with qi and blood. The power in his body was rolling like a huge wave. He raised his head and looked at the sky. Sword will was torrential, as if a sword god had descended to the mortal world. Rumble! The swirling tribulation clouds trembled. A heavenly punishment, as thick as a water bucket and containing the power of the great Tao, broke through the thick tribulation clouds. It carried an endless destructive power as it tore apart the ancient seal hidden in the chaotic cloud's peak and bombarded Yi Chenfeng. Yi Chenfeng's eyes were filled with fearlessness as he faced the destructive attack of the Heavenly Punishment. He stepped forward with his sword and appeared in the void, welcoming the Heavenly Punishment's baptism with his strongest stance. Boom! The dragon-like Heavenly Punishment of the Great Path bombarded his powerful body, causing his body to tremble. In an instant, he was swallowed up. The terrifying power of the great Tao was like a surging tide, crazily destroying his body. It drilled into his body, wanting to destroy him. Sword Tao intent, 5 Tao intent, life and death Tao intent, heaven and earth Tao intent. Yi Chunfeng, with his astonishing physical strength, was not afraid at all when facing the terrifying attack of the Heavenly Punishment. He completely unleashed the Tao intent that he had comprehended and waved his fist to receive the attack. He tore apart the terrifying Heavenly Punishment and improved his comprehension of the Tao intent. Too strong. Changfeng is too strong. He actually used such a method to pass the tribulation. I really want to know how strong he will be when he breaks through to the 2nd grade combat Beast Emperor realm. Fu Qingshan was deeply shocked when he saw Yi Chunfeng face the Heavenly Punishment head-on. Although Fu Qingshan had comprehended the Spear Tao intent and the Light Tao intent to the 5th heavenly layer with the help of the Great Tao Pill, and had successfully broken through to the 2nd grade combat Beast Emperor realm, he felt that Yi Chunfeng would only need one move to kill him. After breaking through to the 2nd grade combat Beast Emperor realm, young master, you should be able to kill an ordinary 5th grade combat Beast Emperor without any external help, said the King of Massacre. He was also deeply impressed by Yi Chenfeng's shocking strength. Standing within the Heavenly Punishment, Yi Chunfeng attacked with all his might. When he unleashed his shocking will of the Great Path and continuously tore apart the Heavenly Punishment, a strange power suddenly appeared within the Heavenly Punishment. It burrowed into his sea of soul and directly attacked his soul. Soul attack. Yi Chunfeng did not expect the Heavenly Punishment to contain a soul attack. With his soul injured, his head felt like it was being pricked by needles. His reaction speed also slowed down a little. His whole body was smashed to the ground by the terrifying heavenly punishment. God-Eater Brain, protect the soul. At the crucial moment, Yi Chunfeng controlled the God-Eater Brain to protect the soul. It devoured the mysterious power that attacked the soul and stabilized his body. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng took a step forward. Hundreds of swords shot out at the same time. Sword-based Dao patterns continuously revolved around his body, crushing the crazily attacking heavenly punishment. Following that, the Dao intent of heaven and earth, the Dao intent of 5 elements, and the Dao intent of life and death fused together, forming a huge Dao intent hand. It faced the sky and continuously destroyed the terrifying heavenly punishment. Boom! Following a series of earth-shattering explosions, Yi Chunfeng's Dao intent hand directly shattered the dragon-like heavenly punishment, blasting a huge hole in the thick tribulation clouds. What is that? A huge hand. Could it be that it's not a demonic beast undergoing tribulation in the depths of the chaotic clouds peak? Look, a human figure. A human figure is rushing into the tribulation clouds. Just as the rapidly approaching True Demon Clan and Xingluo Heaven City's experts were deeply shocked by Yi Chunfeng's Dao intent hand, and their legs went soft. Suddenly, they saw a blurry figure, like an invincible divine sword, breaking into the tribulation clouds that were filled with destructive Dao intent. Boom, boom, boom. After Yi Chunfeng rushed into the tribulation clouds, he immediately unleashed his strength and Dao intent to the extreme. He continuously destroyed the heavenly punishment that was surging from all directions, sharpening his body, refining his Dao intent, and breaking into the second-grade combat Beast Emperor realm. His body's potential was also constantly stimulated by the intense bombardment. He crazily fused with the energy released by the Dao spirit, transforming his body. As time passed, Yi Chunfeng, who was continuously undergoing the baptism of heavenly punishment, had a deeper understanding of Dao intent. A large number of Dao patterns were engraved in his body. Devil Sage Cold Knight's Dao spirit was also completely released under the baptism of heavenly punishment, completely fusing with Yi Chunfeng's body. After fusing with the Dao spirit's energy, Yi Chunfeng's body was burning like an oven. His terrifying soul power directly broke through the crisscrossing bottleneck and broke into the second-grade combat Beast Emperor realm. His strength had greatly increased. Heavenly punishment, break for me. After breaking through, a dragon's roar that could pierce through clouds and split rocks resounded. Yi Chunfeng, who was standing in the void, released a terrifying power that bombarded the rolling tribulation clouds. It tore apart the terrifying tribulation clouds in one fell swoop, breaking the heavenly punishment. Universe realm, open the first layer of space. Yi Chunfeng poured his billowing soul power into the universe realm, breaking through all the restrictions in the first layer of space. With a thought, he entered the universe realm. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 818. What a dense spiritual energy. After opening all the restrictions in the first layer of the universe realm, Yi Chunfeng discovered that the spiritual energy in the first layer of the universe realm had reached an extremely dense level. In the core region of the first layer of space, the spiritual energy in the air was in a liquid state. Every strand of liquid spiritual energy was worth as much as a spirit pill. This universe realm is truly worthy of being a relic left behind by a god or demon. If I cultivate in this space, my cultivation speed will probably be 10 times faster than the outside world. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and absorbed a large amount of liquid spiritual energy into his body. He immediately felt all the cells in his body become active. He felt refreshed and comfortable. Those are ancient vines. The ancient vines needed to refine the ultimate Emperor Dao pill. When Yi Chunfeng released his powerful soul force to cover the entire universe realm, he discovered that there were large amounts of heaven and earth spiritual items growing in the newly opened space. Among those heaven and earth spiritual items, there were two grayish-brown tree vines that were wrapped around an ancient tree. They were in the shape of a gourd and were covered in ancient runes. They attracted Yi Qinfeng's attention. These two grayish-brown tree vines were one of the main ingredients to refine the ultimate Emperor Dao pill, the ancient vines. Apart from the ancient vines, there were several other top-grade heaven and earth spiritual items that were also valuable. However, Yi Qinfeng did not pick them and left them for the spirit fish to eat. He disappeared. Why did Chengfeng suddenly disappear? The king of massacre, Fu Qingshan, and the spirit fish widened their eyes as they watched Yi Qinfeng mysteriously disappear after the heavenly tribulation. They were all stunned. Just as the three of them released their powerful soul force to sense Yi Qinfeng's whereabouts, a blurry figure suddenly appeared. Yi Qinfeng had left the universe realm and returned to the sky. Chengfeng, where did you go? Fu Qingshan did not know about the existence of the universe realm and asked in a daze. Let's go. I'll bring you to a good place to cultivate. Yi Qinfeng smiled and said, Don't resist the teleportation power. As he spoke, Yi Qinfeng controlled the universe realm and released a powerful teleportation power, sending Fu Qingshan, the king of massacre, and the other two into the universe realm. What a rich spiritual energy. What a beautiful place. Chengfeng, where is this? Fu Qingshan discovered that there was a large amount of liquid spirit qi floating in the universe realm, and lush heaven and earth spiritual herbs were growing. His heart was in turmoil. He never thought that Yi Qinfeng would have such a spatial treasure that could accommodate living beings. This is a treasure I obtained in the misty, immortal realm. Yi Qinfeng slowly spoke. From now on, all of you will cultivate here. Your cultivation speed will be 10 times faster than the outside world. Moreover, you can freely pick the worldly treasures that grow here. All right, then I won't hold back. Fu Qingshan laughed heartily as he absorbed the 2 strands of liquid spiritual energy into his body. Then, he became spirited and said happily, All right, everyone cultivate in this new space. 21 days later, we will try to attack the Xingluo Imperial Mausoleum. If we still can't break open the tomb door, we will leave this place and head to the Xingluo Heavenly City. Yi Qinfeng smiled and said. After speaking, Yi Qinfeng and the other 3 found a suitable place to cultivate in the first level of the universe realm. They absorbed the liquid spiritual energy and continued to cultivate in seclusion. After going through the baptism of the heaven's punishment, Yi Qinfeng's body was engraved with a large number of reproduction Tao patterns. He removed all distracting thoughts and controlled the God-Eater brain to understand these Tao patterns and sublimate his own understanding of Tao intent. Life and death Tao intent 6th heaven. Heaven and earth Tao intent 6th heaven. 5 elements Tao intent 6th heaven. Sword Tao intent 8th heaven. Illusion Tao intent 6th heaven. After more than 10 days of comprehension, Yi Qinfeng's 5 great Tao intents had all been sublimated to the next level, especially the Sword Tao intent, which had reached the 8th level. With the sublimation of the Sword Tao intent, Yi Qinfeng's soul spirit and sword spirit were one step closer to fusing. He felt that it wouldn't be long before his soul spirit and sword spirit could perfectly fuse. At that time, his attack power would reach a level that would make people tremble in fear. On the 3rd day after Yi Qinfeng sublimated his 5 great Tao intents, the spirit fish, who had refined the great Tao elixir and consumed a large number of heaven and earth spirit herbs and was on the verge of a breakthrough, also felt her own heaven's punishment. This caused Yi Qinfeng to have no choice but to teleport her out of the universe realm to receive the baptism of the heaven's punishment. Monster. This Yi Qinfeng is a monster, and so is the spirit fish. Her heaven's punishment is actually even more terrifying than Chengfeng's heaven's punishment. Seeing the spirit fish bathe in the heaven's punishment and struggling with all her might, Fu Qingshan's confidence took a hit. He knew that if he didn't want to be a burden, he had to cultivate with all his might. Otherwise, he would be left behind by Yi Chunfeng and the spirit fish. Due to the spirit fish's special bloodline, the heaven's punishment that she attracted was extremely terrifying. The terrifying heaven's punishment destroyed everything and bombarded her for an entire day and night without any signs of subsiding. Just as Yi Chunfeng and the others were sweating for the spirit fish, the second mysterious bloodline in the spirit fish's body awakened. It turned into a terrifying bloodline shadow that shook the void. It was even more powerful than Yi Chunfeng and even more terrifying as it tore apart the heaven's punishment. Goo, what a terrifying shadow. Fu Qingshan gulped and said, Chunfeng, can you tell what bloodline the second bloodline in the spirit fish's body is? I can't tell, but the spirit fish repeatedly attracted heaven's punishment. It is extremely likely that it is related to the second bloodline in her body. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said as he watched the heavenly punishment dissipate into the world, the bloodline shadow that gave him a great shock. He was also very curious about the second bloodline in the spirit fish's body. He wanted to know what kind of bloodline it was that it could surpass his divine demon bloodline. After surviving the heaven's punishment, the spirit fish successfully broke through to the level 2 combat beast emperor realm. Her physical strength increased along with the increase in her realm, reaching 60 million gene of strength. After refining the Great Tao Pill, although the King of Massacre did not break through to the level 4 combat beast emperor realm, he was only a step away from breaking through. Alright, after this period of cultivation, everyone's strength has increased by quite a bit. Let's try attacking the Imperial Tomb Door again. Yi Chunfeng summoned the 9-dragon, Jade, Annulus, and suggested. Alright. The King of Massacre and the other two nodded and raised their strength to the peak, preparing to launch a fatal attack at any time. After devouring a large amount of heavenly beast blood essences, the space-swallowing worm continued to evolve. Once again, it tore a big hole in the restriction of the Xingluo Imperial Tomb Door, following which Yi Chunfeng and the other three unleashed their strongest attacks at the Black Tomb Door, wanting to forcefully break it open. Boom! 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 The four powerful attacks blended together and instantly tore the space apart. With the power to kill, they bombarded the Black Tomb Door, causing a shocking change in heaven and earth. However, the result this time still disappointed Yi Chunfeng. The impregnable Black Tomb Door easily blocked the strongest attacks of Yi Chunfeng and the other three without showing any signs of breaking. In desperation, Yi Chunfeng and the other three could only give up. After a day of recuperation, Yi Chunfeng recovered his depleted soul power and teleported Ling Yu and the other two back to the universe mirror. Then, he flew out of the Xingluo Imperial Tomb alone. When he used his memory to leave the restricted space and return to the lush mountain range, his powerful soul spirit detected the aura of the true demon tribe and the expert from Xingluo Heaven City who were hiding in the dark. Yi Chunfeng was never merciful to his enemies. He used the sword steps and sped past. When he was more than 1,000 meters away, the true demon tribe and Xingluo Heaven City experts who were hiding in the dark and wanted to inform him were all killed by the extremely sharp sword Dao pattern. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 819. Phew, I've finally arrived at the Blackwind grassland. The Xingluo continent was much larger than Yi Chunfeng had imagined. He followed the map and flew for nearly 20 days before arriving at a grassland covered in black weeds that danced in the wind. The saint city of the Xingluo continent, the Xingluo Heavenly City, was floating in the center of the Blackwind grassland that stretched as far as the eye could see. After arriving at the Blackwind grassland, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the illusion Dao intent to change his appearance. He suppressed his strength to the level of a grade 1 defiant beast king and walked into the depths of the Blackwind grassland. As he walked, the sky gradually darkened. Yi Chen-feng found a relatively sheltered hill in the Black Wind grassland to rest. He was in a good mood as he hunted a deer and barbecued it. Soon, a mouth-watering aroma of meat drifted in the dark night sky. Yi Chen-feng was very experienced and had left a lot of feces of powerful heavenly beasts around the hill, so the demonic beasts that forage for food at night didn't dare to come close. Yi Chen-feng used a sharp dagger to cut off a piece of roasted venison. Then, he leaned against a hard rock and drank wine as he ate the venison. He looked very relaxed. Just as Yi Chen-feng was enjoying this rare moment of peace, his powerful soul sensed 3 extraordinary auras approaching him. He couldn't help but furrow his brows. Through the bonfire that was burning brighter and brighter, Yi Chen-feng saw a man and 2 women with the strength of a grade 2 defiant beast king slowly walking towards him. "Sorry to disturb you, friend. The Blackwind grassland is too dangerous at night. I wonder if we can stay here for a night?" A tall and straight man with long black hair casually draped over his shoulders and a black spear on his back glanced at the ordinary-looking Yi Chen-feng, who was sitting beside the bonfire, eating meat and drinking wine. Then, he revealed a friendly smile and said, "That's right. Sit." Yi Chen-feng looked at the man with the spear on his back, and then looked at the 2 young girls with pretty good looks and graceful figures. Under the illumination of the bonfire, their pretty faces were rosy. He nodded and said this. "Many thanks." The man with the spear on his back revealed a faint smile. Then, he sat beside the bonfire with the 2 beautiful women. "I can't finish this flower, dear. If you guys are hungry, you can eat it," Yi Chen-feng said lightly. "Haha, then I won't hold back." The spear-wielding man had a forthright personality. He laughed loudly and took out a dagger. He cut off a large piece of greasy venison and stuffed it into his mouth. He was not afraid that Yi Chen-feng would poison them and plot against them. However, the 2 beautiful women did not eat the venison. Instead, they quietly adjusted their breathing and recovered their strength by the bonfire. "Your Excellency is also preparing to go to Xingluo, Heavenly City, to gain experience, right?" The spear-wielding man took out a pot of fine wine from his chinquin bag. He raised his head and took a big gulp as he asked. "That's right. I'm heading to Xingluo Sky City." Yi Chen-feng nodded. "Haha, I guessed it right away." The spear-wielding man invited straightforwardly. "I wonder if Your Excellency is interested in going to Xingluo Sky City with us. This way, we can look after each other when we cross the Black Wolf Prairie." "Sure." Yi Chen-feng nodded and said, "Big brother, why do I want to team up with him?" Hearing the conversation between the 2, a young woman in white martial arts suit with a rosy face opened her eyes slightly. She looked at Yi Chen-feng, who had an ordinary face and was only a level 1 beast king. She transmitted her voice in confusion. "Miao Yu, the Black Wolf Prairie is scarier than you think. It's not easy to cross the Black Wolf Prairie to reach Xingluo Sky City. However, I don't think he's an evil person. That's why I want to rope him in. After all, 1 more person means 1 more strength." The spear-wielding man transmitted his voice. "All right, big brother. Since you've decided, I won't say anything more. However, if this person is in danger, I won't help him." After saying that, the white-clad woman closed her eyes again, adjusting her breathing to recover as she waited for dawn. The spear-wielding man looked at the white-clad woman who had such high standards, shaking his head helplessly. As he ate, he continued chatting with Yi Chen-feng. As they chatted, Yi Chen-feng found out about the identities of the 3 of them. They were from the famous Falling Star Pavilion, a level 6 faction. The spear-wielding man was called Xing Yuan-feng, the cold and arrogant woman was called Xing Miaoyu, and the silent woman was called Xing Manyu. Very quickly, the night passed. Due to Yi Chen-feng scattering the high-level heavenly beast excrement earlier, they did not meet with any attacks or danger and passed the night peacefully. When the first rays of the morning sun shone over the entire Black Wind Prairie, the 4 of them condensed light red soul wings and flew towards the depths of the Black Wind Prairie. Corpses, so many corpses. As they flew, Yi Chen-feng found many human corpses in the Black Wind Prairie, and all of them had the same characteristic. Their flesh and blood had been eaten clean by demonic beasts. These corpses were left behind by the overlord of the Black Wind Prairie, the Black Wind Wolf. Although a single black wind wolf is not scary, rumor has it that there are millions of them in the Black Wind Prairie. Once surrounded, even a level 4 defiant Beast King would have to avoid them. Xing Yuanfeng slowly explained when he saw Yi Chunfeng continuously sweeping his gaze over the corpses scattered in the underbrush. Don't tell me you haven't even heard of the Black Wind Wolf. Looking at the silent Yi Chunfeng, Xing Miaoyu's eyes widened, looking at him as if he was a monster. Indeed, this is the first time I've heard of it. As Yi Chunfeng had not considered the threat of the Black Wind Prairie, he had not heard of the Black Wind Prairie, much less heard of the Black Wind Wolf. You idiot, you came to the Black Wind Prairie to die, Xing Miaoyu said with a venomous tongue. As for the frosty Xing Manyu, she glanced at Yi Chunfeng without a trace of emotion. She still didn't say anything. Miaoyu, don't talk nonsense. Since Brother Feng Chun dares to come to the Black Wind Prairie, he naturally has something to rely on. Xing Yuanfeng glared at Xing Miaoyu and warned loudly. Yes, I do have a means to protect myself. Yi Chunfeng nodded and said, I hope so. Xing Miaoyu curled her lips and whispered, otherwise, with a burden, we will be in even more danger. Hearing Xing Miaoyu's whisper, Yi Chunfeng was not angry. With a different outlook, Yi Chunfeng's tolerance had also increased. Not to mention, they were not people of the same world. Because of the previous unpleasantness, the four became even more silent. Flying and flying, Yi Chunfeng's eyes shot out a ray of light as he looked at the rolling hills in the distance and frowned slightly. Wait, I feel danger ahead. Yi Chunfeng suddenly said. Danger? How come I don't feel it? Xing Miaoyu said in a somewhat unruly manner. Sister, let's ignore this boring person. Saying so, the two beautiful sisters continued to fly towards the rolling hills in the distance. Xing Yuanfeng flew to Yi Chunfeng's side and cautiously asked, Brother Feng Chun, do you really feel danger? Maybe I feel wrong. Yi Chunfeng did not want to expose himself too much and did not want to explain too much. He said lightly and continued to fly with the two sisters. But not long after flying, ear-piercing and ferocious wolf howls suddenly sounded in the rolling hills. In the next moment, more than 1,000 calf-sized black wind wolves covered in thick wolf fur and with a pair of wind wings flew out of the rolling hills. Seeing more than 1,000 black wind wolves rapidly flying over, Xing Yuanfeng and the other two had goosebumps all over their body, and their faces were ashen. Mobile reading home. Book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 820. Black Wind Wolves. More than 1,000 black wind wolves. Seeing the terrifying howls of the black wind wolves getting closer and closer, Xing Miaoyu and Xing Yufeng were so scared that their bodies trembled, and they turned to flee. Quickly hide in the canopy of that ancient tree. I have a way to intimidate the black wind wolves. Yi Chunfeng was intentionally hiding his power, not using any of his methods to kill the black wind wolves. Instead, he pointed to an ancient tree not far away, several dozen meters tall, with thick foliage, and shouted out loudly, Bro Feng Chun, you really have a way to intimidate the black wind wolves. The black wind wolves were extremely fast, and if they were caught by them, it would be disastrous. Xing Yuanfeng asked loudly in panic. And if you believe me, then follow me. If you don't, then think of a way to break out. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng did not waste any more words, and with a quick flap of his soul wings, he flew towards the tall, ancient tree in a gust of wind. As he neared, he took out a large amount of high-level heavenly beast excrement, scattering it around the tree. Let's go, let's follow. Xing Yuanfeng gritted his teeth and said loudly. The reason why he chose to believe Yi Chunfeng was because he remembered Yi Chunfeng's warning and felt that Yi Chunfeng was not simple. Big bro, do you really believe that he has a way to intimidate the black wind wolves? Once we are trapped in that ancient tree, we will definitely die. Xing Miaoyu did not believe Yi Chunfeng at all, and she said seriously, Miaoyu, Do you think the three of us can use our speed to escape from the Black Wind Wolves? Xing Yuanfeng looked at the approaching Black Wind Wolves and asked loudly. This, enough nonsense. All of you follow me. Let's make a bet. As he said that, Xing Yuanfeng led the two girls into the canopy of the ancient tree, their faces ashen and pale with fright. Bro Feng Chun, what are you preparing to do to intimidate the Black Wind Wolves? Xing Yuanfeng asked nervously. Although he had no choice but to trust Yi Chunfeng, he was even more clear that once Yi Chunfeng failed to intimidate the Black Wind Wolves, they would undoubtedly be torn to shreds and devoured by the savage pack of Black Wind Wolves. Do you see the things scattered around the ancient tree? That is my treasure to intimidate the Black Wind Wolves. Yi Chunfeng pointed at the piles of heavenly beast excrement scattered around the ancient tree, his expression calm as he said, **T. Your treasure that intimidates the Black Wind Wolves is a pile of **T. Looking at the treasures, Yi Chunfeng pointed out, Xing Yuanfeng and the others felt their hearts fall into the abyss. They felt a chill from head to toe as they completely fell into despair. If it wasn't for the fact that the Black Wind Wolves had surrounded them and the two girls didn't dare to make a sound, she would have already gone mad and strangled Yi Chunfeng to death. Don't worry. That shit is enough to intimidate the Black Wind Wolves. Just wait patiently. Yi Chunfeng ignored Xing Miaoyu and Xing Manyu's angry eyes and slowly said, Indeed, as Yi Chunfeng had predicted, the thousands of Black Wind Wolves were so frightened by the smell of the heavenly beast excrement that they did not dare to approach, only letting out low howls of fear. This, Brother Feng Chun, what kind of feces did you use to scare off the Black Wind Wolves? Xing Yuanfeng and the other two revealed an expression of disbelief when they saw that the terrifying pack of Black Wind Wolves was really as Yi Chunfeng had said. They were intimidated by the piles of feces of different sizes and did not dare to approach. That is the excrement of some high-level heavenly beasts. Yi Chunfeng explained. I see. Xing Yuanfeng let out a long sigh of relief and revealed a trace of joy. I was wondering why you dared to charge into the Black Wind Prairie alone. It turns out that you were carrying this shit with you. Yi Chunfeng, big brother, it's too early for you to be happy. We're still in danger. If those Black Wind Wolves don't leave, they'll still attack us when the smell of their feces dissipates. Xing Manyu, who was even prettier than Xing Miaoyu and had fair skin, spoke up. Don't worry, I still have a lot of shit. I'm not afraid that I won't be able to scare them away, Yi Chunfeng said lightly. Xing Miaoyu and the other two looked at each other and were speechless. Time passed minute by minute in extreme torment. Yi Chunfeng was calm and not worried at all. However, Xing Miaoyu and the other two had a feeling of time passing like years, as if they were pacing back and forth on the edge of cliff. Just when Xing Miaoyu and the other two discovered that the Black Wind Wolves had no intention of leaving, two black shadows suddenly appeared on the horizon. Sensing the sudden appearance of a human aura, the ferocious and violent Black Wind Wolves let out an angry howl. They suddenly turned around and launched a tide-like attack at the two human experts who approached them without permission. Someone is coming. Seeing the pack of Black Wind Wolves suddenly rioting, the restless Xing Miaoyu and the other two looked through the gaps of the lush leaves and saw two black-clothed men holding divine weapons moving freely in the pack of Black Wind Wolves, crazily slaughtering them. They revealed expressions of deep, pleasant surprise. So strong. Those two are so strong. Those are real experts. The terrifying Black Wind Wolves are actually no threat to them. Big brother, second sister were saved. Xing Miaoyu's eyes were shining as she looked at the two black-clothed men who were showing off their invincible might. Her eyes couldn't help but emit a look of worship and excitement. Our luck is really good. With their strength, it won't be long before they can kill all the Black Wind Wolves. Xing Yuanfeng let out a long sigh of relief. His suspended heart finally settled down. Yama tactics, people from the dark Azura Hall. How powerful was Yi Chunfeng's soul? When the two black-clothed men wantonly slaughtered the Black Wind Wolves, he felt that they were actually using the Yama tactics. His eyes couldn't help but reveal a trace of cold, killing intent. The two Dark Azura Hall experts killed faster and faster. Soon, more than 1,000 black wind wolves were slaughtered by the two of them. A large number of broken wolf corpses were scattered on the ground. The thick blood gathered into a small stream that slowly flowed on the black wind prairie. Big brother, let's go out and thank them. Thank them for saving our lives. Xing Miaoyu, who had survived the disaster, looked at the two Dark Azura Hall experts whose invincible might shook the heavens and said eagerly. She had the intention to curry favor with them. Don't go out. I'm afraid they will do you harm. Yi Chenfeng knew that the Dark Azura Hall was notorious for their vicious methods. Once they saw Xing Miaoyu and Xing Manyu's beautiful face and graceful body, it was very likely that something would happen. Harm? Xing Miaoyu mocked without holding back. I think you're just jealous of their strength. At least they're not like you, roaming the world with a few piles of shit. After saying that, the proud Xing Miaoyu jumped down from the ancient tree crown. Thank you, too, for saving our lives. Xing Miaoyu lightly stood on the huge body of a black wind wolf and called out to the two Dark Azura Hall experts who were about to leave, softly thanking them. While thanking them, Xing Yuanfeng and Xing Manyu also jumped down from the ancient tree crown to thank them. Looking at the slender bodies of the two girls, their milk-like skin, their slightly perky curves, and their beautiful and cold faces, the eyes of the two Dark Azura Hall experts immediately lit up. You two really want to thank us? A Dark Azura Hall expert, whose clothes were stained with faint bloodstains, had a square face and eyes sunken into his cheeks, giving off a ferocious feeling. He looked at the sexy bodies of Xing Miaoyu and the other girl with a burning gaze and asked with malicious intentions. My Falling Star Pavilion has some influence in Xingluo Sky City. When we reach Xingluo Sky City, my Falling Star Pavilion experts will definitely give you a big gift to thank you two for your kindness. Meeting the burning gaze of the two, Xing Yuanfeng's expression changed. He felt a trace of unease and hurriedly said, No need to go through so much trouble. The other slightly plump Dark Azura Hall expert revealed a trace of cold smile and said, I think these two girls are not bad. They suit my taste very well. Why don't we use them as gifts? After saying that, the Dark Azura Hall expert exploded with powerful soul power and condensed a soul power hand to grab the two girls who were pale with fright. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. The next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 821. Careful, Xing Yuanfeng roared. The spear on his back rose into the air under the control of his mind, spinning in the air as it pierced towards the soul power hand that was tearing the air apart. Xing Yuanfeng's spear had reached perfection in both grace and strength. Its attack power had also soared. Chi, the soul power hand that the Dark Azura Hall expert had condensed, was pierced through by his spear, saving the pale-faced Xing Miaoyu and her sister. I didn't think that you weren't trash. The chubby man revealed a mocking smile. Rolling soul power once again gushed out of his body, turning into a sharp soul sword that slashed towards Xing Yuanfeng. Xing Yuanfeng, who was defending with all his strength, was sent flying by the terrifying soul sword. A large amount of blood sprayed out from his mouth as he heavily fell to the ground. Please be magnanimous and let my two sisters go. I guarantee that when we reach Xingluo Sky City, my Falling Star Pavilion will definitely reward you. Seeing the chubby man's strength, Xing Yuanfeng ignored his injuries and climbed up from the ground. He stood in front of the panicking Xing Miaoyu and her sister, using the Falling Star Pavilion to pressure them. He regretted that he didn't listen to Yi Chenfeng's words, causing him to be in danger. What is the Falling Star Pavilion? The chubby man snorted and arrogantly warned, It's their fortune that us two brothers have taken a fancy to them. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and scram. Otherwise, don't blame me for scraping you alive. Big brother, what should we do? At this time, Xing Miaoyu no longer had an unruly expression. She looked at the fiendish dark Azura Hall expert in horror, her heart filled with panic. Although Xing Manyu didn't say anything, her trembling body still betrayed her terrified heart. She didn't dare to think about her fate. Sigh, I've already told you that they aren't good people, but you didn't listen. Now you believe me. After hesitating for a while, Yi Chenfeng still couldn't bear to see Xing Miaoyu and her sister being ruined. He jumped down from the lush treetop and sighed softly. Feng Chun, just as Xing Yuanfeng and the other two were out of their wits and lost their heads out of fear, they discovered that Yi Chenfeng had jumped down from the treetop, ignoring the threat of the Dark Azure Hall experts and loudly criticizing them. All of them were dumbfounded. Haha, I didn't expect that there would be a hothead hiding here. Interesting, very interesting. The chubby man laughed heartily. The soul power gushing out of his body once again condensed, transforming into a large hand of soul power. He wanted to grab Yi Chenfeng, who had provoked them, to death and intimidate Yuan Feng and the other two. Be careful, Dodge. When Xing Yuanfeng saw that Yi Chenfeng was in danger, he immediately shouted. However, Yi Chenfeng was as steady as Mount Tai as he stood in place. He gently extended a finger and pointed at the giant hand of soul power descending from the sky. Chi! When Yi Chenfeng's finger came into contact with the soul power hand, the hand trembled violently and shattered like glass. Such a strange scene shocked everyone present. How is this possible? How can he have such strength? A kind of shock and excitement appeared on the beautiful faces of Xing Miaoyu and Xing Yuanfeng. Their eyes were wide open and their mouths were agape. They couldn't believe what was happening in front of them. Interesting, very interesting. I didn't expect that you weren't a hothead. The two Dark Azura Hall experts frowned slightly and revealed cruel smiles. Two terrifying soul beasts appeared on their bodies and roared at Yi Chenfeng. Brother Feng Chun, let's deal with them together. Xing Yuanfeng, who had regained his senses, appeared beside Yi Chenfeng with a spear in hand and shouted loudly. Just two pieces of trash, no need to go through so much trouble, Yi Chenfeng said indifferently. He didn't put them in his eyes at all. What a big tone. The chubby man roared angrily. When I capture you later, I will let you know my methods. I will make you regret living in this world. As he spoke, the chubby man fused with his soul beast. He held a sharp autumn water sky sword in his hand and stabbed at Yi Chenfeng amidst the dense sword shadows. You don't deserve to use a sword in front of me, Yi Chenfeng said contemptuously. He stretched out a finger again. The ancient heavenly thunder broke through his finger, penetrated the dense sword shadows, and hit the sharp tip of the sky sword. Crack! A crisp shattering sound rang out as the extremely destructive extreme ancient heavenly lightning shattered the autumn water sky sword, turning it into dust that filled the air. In the next moment, the ancient heavenly thunder turned into a thunder net under Yi Chenfeng's control. It directly covered the chubby man, whose expression changed greatly. It pulled him down from the air and smashed a big hole in the ground. Heavenly thunder. You actually subdued a type of heavenly thunder with your cultivation level. Feeling the destructive power of the ancient heavenly thunder, the square-faced man's eyes widened in shock. The way he looked at Yi Chenfeng changed greatly. Okay. We admit defeat this time. Let him go, and we will leave immediately. We will not trouble you again. The threat of the ancient heavenly thunder was too great. The square-faced man did not dare to take the risk and said in a low voice. Hearing the square-faced man's words, Xing Miaoyu and the other two heaved a sigh of relief. However, Yi Chenfeng's next words made them nervous again. What if I don't let him go? Yi Chenfeng asked with a faint smile. Kid, don't think that you are invincible just because you subdued a type of heavenly thunder. If you provoke the Sunluo Temple, I will make sure you die without a burial place. The chubby man who was trapped in the thunder net and could not move threatened loudly. Sunluo Temple. You are experts from the Sunluo Temple. Xing Yuanfeng and the other two panicked after knowing their identities. Although the falling star pavilion was powerful, it was like heaven and earth compared to the Sunluo Temple. It could be said that the Sunluo Temple could destroy the Falling Star Pavilion as easily as blowing off dust. Can we go now? The square-faced man saw Xing Yuanfeng's frightened expression, and a fierce glint flashed in his eyes as he arrogantly asked. No, Yi Chenfeng coldly said. The ancient heavenly thunder suddenly erupted with a frightening power and crazily attacked the chubby man trapped in the thundernet. In less than 5 breaths, the chubby man's body was destroyed by the ancient heavenly thunder and died on the spot. You actually killed San Fei? The square-faced man didn't expect Yi Chenfeng to be so bold as to actually kill the chubby man. His body trembled with anger as a thick murderous intent shot out from his eyes. Meanwhile, the three were scared silly by the scene before them. Cold sweat poured down their foreheads while their hearts were filled with fear. Killing a beast king from the Sunluo Temple was something they didn't dare to think about. However, what they didn't know was that even if the Dark Azura Hall Master Shinto was here, Yi Chenfeng would still dare to kill him. Furthermore, with Yi Chenfeng's current strength, with the help of the 9 Dragon Jade Annulus or the True Dragon Transformation, he would definitely be able to kill Shinto. So what? Yi Chenfeng revealed a cold smile. Not only do I want to kill him, but I also want to kill you. With that, Yi Chenfeng controlled the ancient heavenly thunder towards the square-faced man, wanting to kill him. Blood escape. After seeing the power of the thunder, the square-faced man didn't hesitate to use the blood escape to escape. However, the moment he used blood escape, a powerful force pressed down on his body, causing his body to tremble slightly and affecting his speed of escape. The next second, the ancient heavenly thunder slammed into his body like a tidal wave and broke through his defenses. His body exploded into a bloody mist in the air as his soul was severed. Mobile reading website. Book address. In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click the save button at the bottom to record your reading. You will see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 822. Dead, they're all dead. Witnessing Yi Chenfeng killing 2 experts from Sunluo Hall, Xing Yuanfeng and the other 2's minds went blank. They were all dumbfounded. Brother Feng Chun, they're from Sunluo Hall. You killed them. Aren't you afraid of Sunluo Hall's revenge? Xing Yuanfeng asked in panic. It could be said that provoking Sunluo Hall on Xingluo continent was no different from provoking the god of death. They were killed by black wind wolves. What does that have to do with me? Yi Chenfeng said with a faint smile as he looked at Xing Yuanfeng and the other 2 who were trying their best to suppress the fear in their hearts. After speaking, Yi Chenfeng collected the 2's belongings, condensed his soul wings, and flew towards the depths of the Black Wind Prairie. Hey, wait for us. Seeing Yi Chenfeng leave as soon as he said so, Xing Miaoyu and the other 2 quickly condensed their soul wings and followed him closely, afraid that they would lose him. After flying for more than 6 hours in the Black Wind Prairie, the sky gradually darkened. Gusts of fierce wind surged from the depths of the Black Wind Prairie, sweeping through the heavens and earth. When the sky turned dark, Yi Chenfeng's powerful soul sensed a continuous stretch of hills in the Black Wind Prairie. He immediately flew over with Xing Yuanfeng and the other 2 to take shelter from the wind for the night. Brother Feng Chun, thank you for today. Without you, the 3 of us would have been killed. Xing Yuanfeng looked at Yi Chenfeng, who was full of mystery and had subdued the extreme ancient heavenly lightning, with reverence and gratitude from the bottom of his heart. It's nothing. You don't have to worry too much about it. Yi Chenfeng, who was resting with his eyes closed, said, Feng, big brother Feng Chun, today I didn't recognize Mount Tai and offended you. Please don't lower yourself to my level and forgive my rudeness. Under Xing Yuanfeng's strict gaze, Xing Miaoyu, whose cheeks were slightly red, bit her lips and softly apologized. Her attitude was completely different from during the day. It's okay, I didn't take it to heart, Yi Chenfeng said indifferently. Okay, I'm going to adjust my breathing. You guys should rest too. After saying that, Yi Chenfeng got rid of all distracting thoughts and quickly entered a state of cultivation. Seeing Yi Chunfeng meditating with his eyes closed, Xing Yuanfeng and the other two looked at each other and didn't dare to disturb him. They sat cross-legged around Yi Chunfeng, recovering while waiting for dawn. The night grew darker and darker. The pitch-black Blackwind Prairie became more and more terrifying. Ferocious wolf howls continuously resounded in the Blackwind Prairie. However, after Yi Chunfeng had dropped the piles of heavenly beast excrement, the overlord of the Blackwind grasslands, the Black Wind Wolves, did not dare to approach them. At dawn, Yi Chunfeng woke up from his meditation. He continued to fly towards the depths of the Blackwind Prairie with Xing Yuanfeng and the others. They slowly approached Xingluo Sky City in the center of the Blackwind Prairie. As they got closer and closer to Xingluo Sky City, they encountered many geniuses along the way. Some of them even caught Yi Chunfeng's attention. As they flew, a series of deafening explosions rang in their ears, and the air currents became fierce. Two geniuses wielding divine weapons, arrogant and unruly, were fighting fiercely in the air. Terrifying attacks swept out in all directions, causing the air to vibrate violently, forming a large number of whirlwinds. Ignore them, let's go through. Although the fight between the two geniuses was intense and exciting, it didn't attract Yi Chunfeng's interest. He led Xing Yuanfeng and the others, wanting to pass through and continue flying towards Xingluo Sky City. Damn it, the four of you are really bold. Can't you see that we are fighting? How dare you come near? Get lost. A fifth-level defiant beast king, wearing a black martial robe, swept his gaze over Yi Chunfeng's group of four and roared in warning. His long black hair fluttered wildly in the wind, and he held a halberd in his hand. He had an extraordinary aura and was a fifth-level defiant beast king. Hearing the black-clothed man's warning and feeling his domineering aura, Xing Yuanfeng and the others' expressions changed slightly. They slowed down their flying speed, but Yi Chunfeng seemed to have not heard them and continued flying forward. Damn it! Since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. Seeing Yi Chunfeng ignoring his warning and continuing to approach, the black-clothed man flew into a rage. He abandoned his opponent and slashed with his halberd, wanting to split Yi Chunfeng in half. When a murderous black-robed man closed in on Yi Chunfeng, thunderous sounds rang out from Yi Chunfeng's body. He compressed the extremely destructive ancient heavenly thunder to its limit and blasted it towards the black-robed man. Rumble! When the halberd struck the ancient heavenly thunder, earth-shattering thunder rang out. The terrifying heavenly thunder was like an erupting volcano, fiercely bombarding the black-clothed man's body, sending him flying and landing heavily on the ground. A large amount of blood gushed out from his strong body. Heavenly thunder. Seeing the extreme ancient heavenly lightning released by Yi Chunfeng, the handsome man in white who was a level 5 defiant beast king revealed a look of shock. He quickly retreated in fear, not daring to get close to Yi Chunfeng. Let's go. After using the ancient heavenly thunder to heavily injure the black-clothed man, Yi Chunfeng did not linger. He quickly flew away with the shocked Xing Yuanfeng and the others. When it was close to evening, Yi Chunfeng and the others finally reached the center of the Blackwind Prairie. They saw an ancient city in the distance. In the sky above this ancient city, there was a huge piece of land. On this land, there was a beautiful city in the sky. It was like a mirage, and it was shrouded in clouds and mist. Countless waterfalls flowed down from the edge of Xingluo Sky City. It was like the Milky Way falling from the 9 heavens, splashing onto the Blackwind Prairie, forming several surging rivers that flowed through the Blackwind Prairie. At the 4 corners of Xingluo Sky City, there were 4 paths to the sky that passed through the clouds and were shrouded in restrictions. Many blurry figures were climbing up the paths with all their might. Although Yi Chunfeng had seen many paradises and majestic ancient cities, when he saw Xingluo Sky City in the distance, he was still shocked. He couldn't help but sigh in amazement. Big Brother Feng, do you have a Xingluo token? Seeing Yi Chunfeng staring at Star All Heaven City without saying anything for a long time, Xing Man Yu, who had a graceful figure and a charming figure, walked over to his side and asked softly. No. Yi Qianfeng shook his head and said, Xingluo Sky City is shrouded in an ancient restriction. Ordinary people can't fly in directly. So, there are two ways to enter Xingluo Sky City. One is to have a Xingluo token and enter Xingluo Sky City through the teleportation formation in the ancient city. The other way is to climb the path to heaven to enter Xingluo Sky City. However, although climbing the path to heaven is a little troublesome, there are still many benefits for climbing it for the first time. When you climb to a certain level, not only will you be baptized by lightning, you will also be baptized by the Xingluo celestial phenomenon. There is also a chance to leave your name on the Xingluo celestial wall. So, the genius disciples who come to Xingluo Sky City for the first time will climb the path to heaven to challenge themselves. Xing Manyu explained in a pleasant voice. Thank you for telling me. Yi Qianfeng smiled and looked at Xing Manyu's cold face. Let's go. We will rest in the ancient city and climb the path to heaven early tomorrow morning. After saying that, Yi Qianfeng quickly flapped his soul wings and flew towards the ancient city below Xingluo Sky City. Remember the website, Sandwich Chinese Network. Chapter 823. Early in the morning, a ray of gentle sunlight pierced through the pitch-black night sky, crossing the boundless sea of clouds and sprinkling down on the entire world, awakening the ancient city with a long history. Early in the morning, after a night's rest, Yi Qianfeng's group of 4 appeared under the stairway to heaven that was shrouded in restrictions. They were preparing to climb the ancient stairway to heaven that had experienced the vicissitudes of life. Big brother, it is that brat. He is the one who used the heavenly lightning to injure me. Suddenly, a discordant voice echoed. The black-robed man who was severely injured by Yi Qianfeng using the ancient heavenly lightning appeared at the bottom of the stairway to heaven and glared at Yi Qianfeng. Which faction are you from? Why did you injure my younger brother for no reason? A tall and sturdy man covered in thick black hair coldly questioned Yi Qianfeng. He was a level 6 reverse beast king and gave off a ferocious aura. Let's go. Let's ascend the stairway to heaven. Yi Qianfeng ignored the burly man's question and entered the stairway to heaven with a flash. He began to climb the ancient stairway to heaven that was getting increasingly intense. Damn it, you are courting death. When he saw Yi Qianfeng ignoring him, the burly man's face instantly turned gloomy. He clenched his fists so tightly that they were making cracking sounds. His eyes were filled with dense, killing intent. Let's go. Let's follow them. Once we enter Xingluo Heaven City, we will deal with them. The burly man spoke with a fiendish expression. He followed closely behind Yi Qianfeng's group of 4 and began to climb the stairway to heaven. They were constantly plotting their revenge against Yi Qianfeng in their hearts. As they climbed higher, the spatial pressure above the stairway to heaven was getting increasingly intense. However, this pressure didn't affect Yi Qianfeng at all. The 3 of you, let's part ways here. Take care. The speed at which Xing Yuanfeng and the other 2 climbed the path to heaven was too slow. Yi Qianfeng didn't wait for them. He left behind a sentence and increased his climbing speed. When he was climbing, he controlled the illusion Dao pattern to change his appearance again. In the dangerous Xingluo Heaven City, Yi Qianfeng had no choice but to be careful. Soon enough, Yi Qianfeng, who was ignoring the pressure of the restrictions, started to climb faster and faster. Afterimages appeared as he sped up the stairway to heaven. His astonishing speed, Xing Yuanfeng and the other 2 were petrified. The burly man and the burly man who wanted to take revenge on Jiang Chun. In less than half an incense stick's worth of time, the astonishingly fast Yi Qianfeng had climbed several tens of thousands of meters. He was now in the middle of the restriction cloud sea. Thunder roared in the restriction cloud sea. When Yi Qianfeng sensed that the heavenly lightning in the sea of clouds was just ordinary heavenly lightning and not Dao intent heavenly lightning, he revealed a trace of disappointment. He did not slow down and continue to climb faster. Lightning, lightning, lightning of Yi Qianfeng's of lightning bolts of lightning, lightning, lightning of thunder. Yi of lightning, 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 to Yi 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 Xingluo. Lightning of his body. Divine transformation of 9 transformations. Devour. After being attacked by a large amount of heaven's thunder, Yi Qinfeng immediately circulated the divine transformation of 9 transformations. He refined the heaven's thunder into his Yongquan acupoint and transformed the spirit pearl in his Yongquan acupoint. There is someone ahead. Just as Yi Qinfeng was climbing and refining the heaven's thunder, his powerful soul spirit sensed an extraordinary aura presence in the space ahead. He sensed that this powerful aura presence was able to tear apart the heaven's thunder with every step. This terrifying attack had completely exceeded the limits of the reverse Beast King realm. I didn't expect to encounter a prodigy on the stairway to heaven. Yi Qinfeng's mouth curved up slightly. He didn't slow down his climbing speed and slowly closed the distance between him and the prodigy ahead. When he sensed that Yi Qinfeng was getting closer and closer, the man in luxurious robes who was tearing apart the heaven's thunder revealed a bewildered expression. When he looked down at the stairs behind him, he got a shock. This was because he discovered that Yi Qinfeng, who was chasing after him, wasn't tearing apart the heaven's thunder, but devouring it. Just as he was secretly shocked, Yi Qinfeng, who was extremely fast and had turned into an afterimage, flashed before his eyes and soon disappeared in the endless heaven's thunder attacks. Who was that? How could he have such an astonishing speed? The man in luxurious robes was shocked. His eyes revealed a strong fighting spirit as he constantly increased his strength. He was like a divine sword that could tear apart the sky as he chased after Yi Qinfeng closely. There is something strange about the restriction ahead. Yi Qinfeng rushed for 30 minutes and gradually approached the top of the stairway to heaven. He saw that above his head there was a group of illusory restrictions. Could this be the Xingluo celestial phenomenon that can temper spirit beasts? He recalled what Xing Manyu had told him about the unique Xingluo celestial city restriction on the stairway to heaven. It had the miraculous ability to temper spirit beasts. When one was inside and summoned their spirit beasts, they would be baptized by the celestial phenomenon. The longer the baptism, the purer the spirit beast would be. I hope this Xingluo celestial phenomenon won't disappoint me. There was a flash of light under Yi Qinfeng's feet as 100 swords shot out, tearing apart the layers of heaven's thunder and restrictions. He crossed more than 10 flights of stairs and directly rushed into the Xingluo celestial phenomenon. Sea of Fire. After rushing into the Xingluo celestial city, Yi Qinfeng found himself in a blazing sea of fire. The scorching flames constantly burned his body, wanting to burn him to ashes. However, how strong was Yi Qinfeng's physical body? The sea of fire formed by the Xingluo celestial phenomenon posed no threat to him. He operated the divine 9 transformations to refine the power of fire into his Yongquan acupoint. At the same time, he summoned the Blood Dragon Emperor and appeared in the blazing sea of fire. The Blood Dragon Emperor had undergone 2 transformations, and the soul force it contained was extremely terrifying. When it violently tumbled in the sea of fire, the terrifying sea of fire simply couldn't withstand the soul force released by the Blood Dragon Emperor, and cracks began to appear. In less than 10 breaths of time, the sea of fire was torn apart by the Blood Dragon Emperor, but the terrifying Blood Dragon Emperor didn't receive any tempering. Sigh. It seems that the Blood Dragon Emperor is too strong. This Xingluo celestial phenomenon doesn't help it at all. Yi Qinfeng sighed softly and recalled the Blood Dragon Emperor. His figure flashed as he passed through the sea of fire and entered a world of ice and snow. Waves of bone-chilling cold swept towards him. The power of the ice and snow phenomenon was clearly stronger than the sea of fire, but it still posed no threat to Yi Qinfeng. Soon, the ice and snow phenomenon was torn apart by Yi Qinfeng, and he entered the lightning lake. But whether it was the lightning lake phenomenon, the desert phenomenon, or the wood tribulation phenomenon, all of them were torn apart by Yi Qinfeng's sword steps. Sigh, this Xingluo celestial phenomenon restriction is too weak. In less than 20 breaths of time, Yi Chunfeng tore apart the 5 Xingluo celestial phenomena and rushed towards the peak of the path to heaven. The scene of Yi Chunfeng tearing apart the Xingluo celestial phenomena was seen by the man in the luxurious robe who was following closely behind. Soon, Yi Chunfeng rushed all the way to the end of the path to heaven at a record speed. He saw that in the sky above the end of the path to heaven, there was an illusory celestial stele that was 10 feet tall and engraved with names. And this celestial stele was the famous Xingluo celestial wall. Only geniuses who had cultivated for less than 50 years could enter and leave their names on it. It was rumored that geniuses who could leave their names on the 40 feet Xingluo celestial wall could break through the limit of the reverse beast king and become an emperor. And in the millions of years that the Xingluo celestial city had existed, only one person had carved his name on the 90 feet celestial wall at the top of the Xingluo celestial wall. And that person was the legend of the Xingluo continent, the #1 expert, Star Emperor. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.